All right, so we are live. Hello, whoever's probably not watching.
What's up, folks?
All right, so this is episode 2 or session 2, or really it's session 1.5 of this campaign that we've made that we still don't really have a name for. We're calling it right now The Hand of God. Anywho, that's Jeff's hand in real life.
In real life.
Put on your 3D goggles.
3D, 3D,
Triple D over there.
Triple D.
I like to thank all the leather daddies that have tuned in.
We have a demographic.
All right, so I am Rob, your DM. I think right now we're going to go around again, and everyone's going to kind of quickly just introduce themselves in terms of what class they are, what's the name of their character, and like a little short summary, maybe also the race. So, Mark, you want to go first?
Yep. So we got Deku Dragmire, who is a elf cleric, and he is very old. He is, what I have down here, 900 years old. And last episode here, he broke some, was it orc or goblin's arm? And was part of that little battle. And I think that's where we're picking up right after that.
Cool. Nice. You don't have to go through like what we did last time, but tell us about your character, Jeff.
Dude, blind.
Mark, did you hear any of that?
I heard something.
David the Magnificent Blaine is a rogue, human, chaotic good. He's in it for the kids.
Gotta help the orphans.
He's just trying to help the orphans.
And my name is Areolus Acer the Large. I'm a 45-year-old dwarf paladin, and I'm neutral good, and I'm doing some soul searching because I need to redeem myself in the eyes of, what the hell is my deity? Zivlin. In the eyes of Zivlin, the god that my character believes in.
Right, and I am Kujad Lycanthorpe. I am a half-elf druid, pretty much a loner, kind of a hermit, stuck in nature. All of a sudden, orcs came, ravaged my home, and killed my mother. So now I kind of have a thing against orcs, and yeah, fuck orcs. Sweet, I'm sorry. I'm focused.
All right. So in terms of what happened last session, our heroes as
Last time we questioned our heroes. Use the voice. Come on.
I can't do that. Last time our heroes were in a bookstore in the town of Richstall.
Because they're nerds in the game.
Yeah.
Barnes and Nobles.
Barnes and Noble, which sells barn building supplies as well as
noblemen's clothes.
noblemen's
It's kind of like a tractor supply.
yeah, but like also Brooks Brothers. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay, whatever.
And apparently books too.
Yeah, and some books. So, anyways, so our heroes were there, and they found out about the death of one of their friends, Henry Walden, who owns a bookstore in Burnt Hollow. And these characters don't know each other, but they decide to go to his funeral and figure out why he died. There's rumors that he may have been killed by orcs and murdered. They're not really sure. So they head to Burnt Hollow to find out some information. They get there, they meet the sheriff. The sheriff tells them to head over to the graveyard, where they go. At the graveyard, they are at the graveyard, and they see the ceremony of their friend. But at the same time, they also see a memorial of sorts of some like orc style like gang members, I guess we call them. I don't know what you would say other than that. But anyways, funeral ends. They are also aware of this little old man who introduces himself as Abram, who
Gold
says,
Pumas.
yeah, he's wearing some gold shoes. He's a pretty interesting character. He's wearing just a gray, dusty cloak, has a bunch of old books, and a backpack on. And he tells them that he was Henry Walden's business partner, and he was the guy who would go searching for rare books to bring back, and then Henry would sell them. He's obviously distraught that his friend Henry has possibly been killed, and offers a opportunity to these 4 heroes that he just met. As they make their way to the bar from the graveyard, they are stopped, though, by 3 goblins who are kicking over the tombstone of the orcs that they witnessed earlier. They're confronted by the goblins. The goblins want to steal Abram Hornsby's shoes, and they don't put up with that, so they end up fighting these orcs. They put one to sleep, they kill another one, and they charm their leader. And I don't know what's going on. You guys are distracting me. And they convince him to donate all of his money to a orphanage, apparently. And at the same time, this... I'm trying to keep it somewhat professional.
Try to be serious, guys.
You're in for a show.
Here we go. How about we do this? Sorry for you viewers at home.
Sorry, everybody. We're 12, so sorry about that.
And a half.
Oh, what happened?
All right. You guys suck.
We won't play with my tits anymore if you want to put us back.
Ooh, what is that? Manage your products.
Damn, you got some props, man, boy.
So, why does it keep doing that?
Man, people are gonna get your credit card number.
Yeah, probably. So, I don't know why it keeps doing that.
It's in slideshow mode, that's why.
Is it?
I think so.
That was a fun effect, though. Like, where are you going? It's like a David Bowie video.
All right. So,
And we're back.
So, they fight these goblins. They put one to sleep. They kill one, and they charm the other. They convince the leader, Rast, to give them all of his money, which, under the guise of Jeff's story, which is that it's all going to help out orphans, including some goblin orphans, who then Rast thinks would be great to indoctrinate into his little gang of goblins that he's got. And he leaves. Abram then takes these 4 to the bar and offers them a deal of a lifetime to go and search for lost gold in a king's tomb that a mountain collapsed upon, and that this was the wish of Henry Walden when he was still alive to go do it with Abram. They agree, and they are about to leave the bar, and that is where we're going to pick up. So, with that being said, we kind of ended it weirdly last time, is what I said, but what we're going to do is...
Gold mouse.
He's got a gold mouse, yeah. Abram says to you guys, after this whole spiel and you guys agree, he says, there's only one catch. That, I have his voice. There's only one catch, boys. We have to go dig up old Henry. And as you guys leave the bar, there are shovels and pickaxes already leaning up against the building. And he says for you guys to grab them. You guys grab them?
Did I already agree to this?
Yes. You guys grab them, and as you're about to make your way back to the graveyard, the orcs that you saw earlier on bats taking off, hold down, land.
Half-orcs, right?
Half-orcs. Land in front of you.
Otherwise,
to
And I hate him
Go.
already. Fuck.
go get a drink in the bar that you just came out of. The two orcs that you saw earlier that didn't like you eyeing their little memorial that they were having walk up and say, "Hey, aren't you the guys that were staring at us earlier?"
All right, so let's see to break the tension here. David, the Magnificent Blaine, responds abruptly to their accusations or questioning by asking them, "Do you want to see some magic?"
Jeez. We don't want magic. No, we don't want to see some magic. We asked you a fucking question.
All right, and then I immediately start to pretend that I'm levitating, and it blows their mind, obviously, right?
I guess roll for persuasion.
Literally, you're purely standing on a stool, but it's really dark out, so they don't know that.
All right, rolling for persuasion.
Give deception.
Or deception. Yeah, that makes a little more sense.
Deception.
All right, yeah, well, yeah, I'm better in deception anyway, so.
There you go.
All right. As a 15 plus 5 is 20.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, I don't think these guys are going to have the ability to.
Let's roll it back.
They are completely amazed.
Yes!
Way to go, David! And they are kind of just standing there in awe of this man who's levitating apparently, but really he's not.
So I use this as an opportunity to bond with you, saying, "Can you believe that shit just happened? He's a fucking fool."
I can see the stool. That's right there. I expect the stupidity from that
They're
orcs,
just
though.
so stupid. How could they fall for this kind of shit?
They're orcs. They have no brains whatsoever.
Hopefully you guys are seeing
Unbelievable.
Right.
or something, so they
So-
can't hear.
Okay,
This is behind the scenes. They're
You were
they're
staring at
totally
us.
like, what the fuck's going on, man?
you were staring at us earlier, and now you're levitating, which we will give you. I mean, we will say that's pretty amazing. You're amazing. But were you the people that were staring at us earlier? And as these angry half orcs that are also amazed are talking to you,
They're angry? Yeah.
a very large half orc gets off and dismounts from the bat that he just rode in on and slaps his hands on the shoulders of the two and says, gentlemen, calm down. I believe these boys were at a funeral, am I correct?
Yes.
We respond in the
yes,
affirmative. Why the fuck else were we at the graveyard? Oh, right, yeah.
yeah. We're not grave robbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
You gotta do in your role playing voice, man.
And Kujad, having had a shit ton of drinks, is just trying not to kick their ass because he's ready to fight because he see these half orcs.
So what do you guys say?
He's ready to go.
Why the fuck do you think we're at the graveyard to begin with, huh?
None of your business.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm telling these guys who are pissed off that you were there for a funeral.
Hey, I got a question for
So
you.
what if we were?
Why is it?
I'm your friend here, gentlemen. I'm simply saying,
Then why don't you explain to us why your friends are being so much assholes?
well,
Yeah, what is that?
they're gonna go take a walk. Okay. Hey, Greenblood, come here. Get these assholes out of here. Another large half orc comes over and he grabs the two and he says, "Hey, let's go for a walk."
Could their names be Lenny and Squiggy?
Lenny and Squiggy go for a walk.
Thank you.
All right. And this orc, that the big one that's talking to you right now, the half orc, he says, "Sorry, gentlemen, we got off on the wrong foot. My name is Rarg."
And
Nice
then
to meet you.
I respond, "How do you spell that?"
Exactly how it sounds.
Oh, cool.
Do you gentlemen have?
I like you in there.
Do you gentlemen have names? At this point, you see Abram, who's kind of looking around, a little worried that maybe we should not be engaging with people after we just talked about a secret map and a secret tomb full of gold.
I immediately tell them about the map.
And he's looking a little worried that information should be, loose lips sink ships.
Well, we should be on our way. It's getting late.
Okay, so you have no names.
We're just simple travelers.
I say no disrespect, Loyal, but we don't have much time for names.
Okay, I understand.
Peace be with you.
My name is Gerard once again. Anyways, I just wanted to say that we those two assholes don't know how you feel maybe, but the reason why we were in the graveyard earlier tonight was because a year ago today, our president of our club, the Doom Riders, was murdered by a rival gang of goblins. And anyways, our condolences on behalf of the club.
That gang might happen to be the one-eyed snakes on it.
Did you say the one-eyed snake? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
What do you know about the one-eyed snakes?
I know that we fucked them up about an hour ago. 3 of them.
No shit. Where?
Down the street, right in front of the graveyard there.
What the hell were they doing at the graveyard?
When I saw, they were relieving themselves on one of the gravestones.
Was it the gravestone of our ex-president?
I don't know. Probably. It was a tiny gravestone.
Okay. Are they still there?
It was shaped like a motorcycle.
You don't have
Oh, it was shaped like a bat. Right. It was like Batman's crate.
I don't know this Batman you speak of. Are they still in the graveyard? You guys remember that you told them to get out of there, and
one's still dead, right?
Correct, but the goblin leader, Rask,
Horse right there.
grabbed his sleeping and dead friend, thinking that they were both asleep, and is flying back to his hangout or hideout, clubhouse, whatever you want to call it, to basically go get vests for you guys who he thinks he's going to patch you in, along with some miniature vests for all the goblin orphans that you spoke to him. So are they still in the graveyard?
No, they left.
They left.
Do you
We
know?
did leave a dead body. There is a body of one of them still. They took him. They took the body too. Okay. They're not there.
Okay, which direction did they go?
The 12 bloods.
Pile of blood. Okay. So which guys? I'm trying to get some information here. That is a rival gang that killed our president, and I want to find them. Which way did they go?
What are we gonna get if we tell you information?
All right. You're standing in front of 50 pissed off half-orcs right now. You really want to not tell me where that murdered our ex-president? Are you with them?
No.
I think we saw them heading towards the north.
They're going north. Okay, thank you. Boys, let's go.
There might have been a party of bandits following them. We couldn't quite tell.
All right. Thank you for that information. So they're going to mount their bats and they're going to take off right in front of you. And they fly north.
How much wind is there? If there's like 50 of them, that's like a lot.
There's a good amount of wind. So they create a little dust storm that kind of creates some little twisters around you, and you guys are kind of like, holy fuck. And because there's 50 of these guys, and they're on some pretty large animals. Like these things are slightly bigger than a black bear.
Foreshadowing, perhaps.
Maybe. So they take off with a machine gun, and you gentlemen there are left there in front of the bar with your shovels, pickaxes, and Abram, looking a little more relieved now, but still worried. Says, "Well, we better get moving."
I'll lead the way, and I'll use my produce flame cantrip to light the way as a torch.
Sweet. So
The gravesite.
They say, oh, isn't that fancy?
Now, before we take off,
It's no levitation, but it's all
I kind of go over to by where they were. So I kind of go over to by where they were at. Is there like hitching posts for the bats? Or they just
No,
kinda
they were
landed?
just kind of landed right in front of you.
Okay.
Did they
Well,
leave anything?
Was anyone in the party perhaps bored during our conversation and like doing some graffiti on a wall or anything like that?
No.
I want to use my thieves can.
Fortunately, there is no thieves' camp to do that.
Okay.
So the town's empty. Pretty much everyone went to bed except for us for the most part. What time is it at night?
It's pretty late. It's probably like it's fall, but it's probably around like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Okay.
pretty freaking dark outside.
No wonder they didn't see the school.
The town though that you are in, the Burnt Hollow, does have gas lamps. So you guys are a little bit on the outskirts of town in this kind of seedy shack of a bar.
The last call.
So, you guys have any other questions or do anything in the
How
bar?
cold is it?
It's
Your nipples are hard.
Like
Okay.
like rocks, or you mean like
You can use it as a weapon. You can roll. You can roll 20 dice for 20 damage. You hit him in the face.
You can cut diamonds right now.
all right? So it's below freezing.
It's probably like 63 degrees out. It's not horrible, but it's a little nippy though. It's a little bit of a wind.
Sit there, nipple.
All right, so let's blouse around the graveyard.
All right, so
All right.
John's gonna lead the way back up the tunnel of trees. Abram is kind of side by side him, and the other members of the party follow. You guys get to the graveyard right on the gate line, and you hear Abram say, "Hey, can you make that? Hey, Kuja, could you make that flame any smaller so we're not spotted?" I can do that. So describe what you just did.
All right. So pretty much when I just touch my hand, blocks a lot of the light out. Oh, okay. So pretty much I had an open hand here too, so the light can project everywhere. So all I have to do is close my hand a little more, and also as I tighten my fist, the flame goes down a bit.
Perfect. Thank you, Boyle.
Mhm.
Now, he starts walking to the freshly dug grave, the amount of dirt on top of it, looking around, tiptoeing a little bit, and you guys follow. And he says, "All right, let's make this as quick as possible. We're going to have to dig him up. It shouldn't be too gross. I apologize in advance. I know this man is your friend, but there's something that we need to get off his body that I believe is on his body."
We can't just defile his tomb, his resting spot.
We're not defiling his tomb. It's just that he has something that we need to get off of him, and we will put him right back in the ground, and we'll make it nice. And I mean, listen here. This is my best friend and my business partner. I feel bad about this, but this is the only way we can move forward.
Well, if he's buried good and proper.
All right. How about this? How about we dig our friend Henry up, we get the necklace around his neck off his body, and we put him back, and we do a short little prayer. Will that work for you? I mean, time is of the essence. We should not be here long. We cannot be found out that we're doing this.
Okay, now hold on. What God are you going to be praying to here?
He worshiped the same God that you did.
So I want to know what you're thinking about that. Is it going to be a prayer to his God or yours?
Your God. It's his God.
Okay, I'm fine.
Well, I want to know, defiling a corpse like that, is that against your religion? Is that
Not if there's a good means. Not if there's a good means to an end.
okay?
If this is going to help us solve the problem over who killed him, well, let's bring him justice.
All right.
There's your answer. Let's take this mother out.
All right. So Abram also has a shovel, and he begins to dig around the mound that was just put there not but a few hours ago.
Hey, David, you got any tricks to move this dirt?
No. But I
No magic?
you want to see some magic?
Not now, not now.
And you know,
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use I don't know if it should be perception or investigation. Well, I I want to talk to Beardy Boy here.
Weird boy.
Yeah,
Is that he?
yeah, the dude with the gold shoes. You know, the golden child. All right, so, yeah, him. So why are you like digging around the grave?
I just don't want to accidentally stick a shovel into like his body or the casket. I mean, he's in probably a paint. It's a paint box, but I don't want to damage his body.
It's a casket. It's already defiled nature by being turned into something so useless. Don't worry about it. Let's get there.
That was really deep, boy.
I don't understand what you just said.
Me neither. Let's keep digging.
All right. So you guys continue to dig.
It's nature. And you may cut down trees and stuff like that to make pointless caskets when it could be fertilizing the soil.
So everyone kind of looks at you like, "What the fuck is wrong with this hippie here?"
Then David looks up and says, "That's a pretty good point."
Do it louder. But
Yeah.
Is there a
dig,
coffin?
you're digging about 10 minutes, and then you guys hear metal on wood.
We've reached the tube.
Hitting a tape.
Where does that sound coming from?
Oh, that's a shovel hitting the casket.
Oh,
Is there a lock on the casket?
Casket.
Pine box boys. Okay, let's keep digging. Let's get this thing out. So you guys dig a little quicker.
You guys got a crowbar.
Hey, shh. Hey, dim the light.
All right, I'm gonna roll for.
I'm gonna lose it.
Well, I was gonna roll for perception, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on that he's hearing.
Good point. But let me.
Okay.
You don't even need to do it.
All right.
You hear.
Can we pretend I did? And it was a.
Well,
It
actually,
was a
I'll
20.
tell you what. Tell me.
A nat 20.
Tell me your guys' passive perceptions real quick.
Well, I'm +1.
I got +4 perception.
Should be
Passive wisdom.
Oh, passive wisdom is 13.
Mark, what's yours?
My perception +4.
Nope, passive wisdom.
Oh, passive wisdom.
It's right above the languages box.
Hey,
that's also
What is it?
+4 actually. Wisdom +4.
What?
Oh, it's a little like.
yeah, it's on the left of the sheet right below your skills.
You see it, Mark?
One second. Oh, 14. I'm sorry. Okay.
14. Right. JJ, what's yours?
13.
And John, say 14. Okay. Right. You hear Abram say, "Hey, dim the light." John dims the light.
How was the light lit while he was digging? I'm assuming he was using 2 hands.
I guess there was
giving
Can you hear someone come up? You guys kind of sit there, low to the ground, shovel in hand, over the grave of your friend Henry Walden, and you're sweating, and you have wide eyes. And now that the light is out, you kind of have really bad night vision a little bit, but you're looking around and you don't really see anything.
You've got good perception, right?
It's not the best.
Not the best. Has anyone got good perception? Like,
You have pretty good deception.
Because I just think you guys passive wisdom or perception. I'm saying that right now you're not seeing or hearing anything. And Abram says, "Do you guys see anything?
Is it a spirit?
Do you hear? He's whispering. Do you see anything? Do you hear anything?"
We've upset the dead.
I say no.
Wait, hold on, everyone quiet. Listen. You hear that?
All you hear is the wind rustling the leaves of the trees, and you hear some faint owl hoots in the background, but you don't really hear anything, and you don't see anything.
So I might say, enough with the children's shenanigans. Let's keep with the busy. All right. Just keep with the busy.
I'm gonna
You can go even dimmer on the light that you have.
I can turn it out.
Well, you already did that.
What?
No, he just dimmed it.
I did.
No,
You told him to turn it out like extinguish it.
Yeah, extinguished it.
Yeah, he
What
did.
the fuck was?
He wants it dimmer than what you had before.
But it's out.
It's out.
We can't see.
Relight it.
We're blind.
Oh!
Can you, all right, Kujai. I guess you don't have a very good time talking to people because you're out in the woods, but I need you to relight the light, but do it dimmer than last time. Is it okay?
Hold my finger.
Okay. Hold your finger. But just a little bit. And it relights. You guys continue digging up the grave, and now you've actually created like space next to the coffin. And Jeff, I think you are maybe in the grave more than anyone else. And Abram is going to say, David, could you open the casket for us because you're down there?
Do it, David. For the orphans.
Use your sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and what's my charisma roll? That's about ones. We'll go ahead and try and persuade. What's his name again? Gold Shoes. Abram. I'm gonna try and persuade Abram that maybe he should be the one to open the casket.
And I'm going to use my guidance to say that's a good idea and cast my cantrip of guidance on you. So I'm like, I agree.
What if it's
So
traps?
You can roll a d4 and add the number rolled on the ability of your choice. So you can roll a d4, add it to that.
So you have to roll for that to work.
Oh, do I?
Yes.
Oh well, never mind.
Okay, what do I have to roll for that then?
You roll to hit.
It'd just be a 20.
Is it a
Right?
cantrip?
It's cantrip.
Maybe just.
I think it
You know what?
just works.
Okay, no, yeah, it just works.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
David. That's my
I'll throw the 4 first. So I'll add 3 to 3.
Alright.
Oh, but plus 4, so
6.
10 is my total.
I would say that maybe would be the counter to persuasion.
Stubbornness.
I'd say maybe intelligence.
There you go.
So I have a +5 on 8, so that's gonna be 13. What'd you have?
10 total.
10, well, 10. Wait, 3 and 3 was 6, and then yeah, plus 4, so
Okay.
10.
So he's gonna say, I'm up here and you're down there. I just, can you open it up? I mean, if I was down there, I'd do it. You're there. And he's not gonna pop out at you or anything. It's a dead. Our friend is dead, yes, but he's no longer with us. It's just a corpse in the box at this point. I'm sorry.
If we're gonna fight about this, I can cremate him with my flame.
No,
That's
don't
fine.
cremate anything. We need to get something off his person.
See, now, in the back of David's head, he's thinking, this is just grave robbery. This is all we're doing. So, in that spirit, I will use deception, or try anyway, and convince Abram that I sprained my shoulder and that I can't open it. So,
I'm gonna do this because you're taking so long to do what he just asked.
I'm
you.
not trying. I don't want to go to last. All right. I don't want to get
And-
first.
and
I'm checking the casket for thieves' camp.
you begin to explain that your shoulder hurts. Abram says, "For the love of Zivlin," and he gets down into the grave and he pulls out a small dagger and he begins to pry open the pine box.
All right, good, because I rolled
He-
a 14. That was actually a really good roll.
He opens.
Plus 5. Shit.
He
That was a
opens.
19.
He opens the casket, and immediately all of you are hit by a very putrid, sweet smell. And if you've ever smelled like a dead animal. It's that times 100. It is strong.
Smells like nature.
Body is.
And I can barely smell it over my natural odor.
Abram kind of winces and puts his sleeve over his nose and says, "I'm sorry, friend," and lifts the casket fully, or the lid of the casket fully off, and puts it to the side. And in the casket, there is a wrapped body, just wrapped in white linens.
The smell instantaneously makes me vomit onto the body.
How long has he been dead for?
For 3 days, I
3
believe.
days.
3 or 4 days.
Is
The
that
body's-
normal?
I'll say it's rotted beyond its days.
Right. It's what accelerated. Is he
I
human?
mean,
What race
it
is he?
smells, but it's not like he's not like.
I just wanted to vomit.
Okay. So Jeff or David vomits on the cloth, and Abram just like dodges out of the way as he hears retching sound above his head, and he looks up at.
Do I have to do it in character?
He looks up. He looks
I
up
don't feel so good, guys.
at David, and he says, "Are you fucking kidding me? You come from the town of Pottersfield, whatever the hell you call that town, the Grift. There's dead people in the street everywhere, and you're puking on your friend here.
Puking?
So I pay my respects.
All right. Well, I don't understand that. Question.
Are you offended by this because of your religious?
No, not at all. Because I've seen a lot more death in my time for something like this to gross me out. Now my question is to the DM.
That grosses me out. That's straight up.
Stick to the game.
Is that the normal burial practice?
Yeah.
Wrapped in linen?
It's just like a counter's.
So there's nothing abnormal about the grave site or the burial. Okay.
So now there's this unfortunate puke all over your friend here, and Abram says, that wasn't very smart because you boys have to help me lift him out of the casket now. So
Way to go, David.
So we all look at Dave.
the puke is on your hands too. And I went from like Irish voice last time to like he's just Scottish now. So whatever. There you go. So you gentlemen are persuaded to get into the grave, and you 5 easily lift up.
Actually, well, what if I use my entangle spell and get the vines to pull them out of the ground?
What?
That's a spell.
Well, burn the spell slot. You can do that.
Let's do it. I'm not touching this. I don't know what you ate,
so-
David. I don't know. Whatever you drink at that bar, man.
Do it in character. Tell these guys what you're doing.
Since we're not touching this putrid smelling man with covered in vomit, I'll raise some vines out of the ground to lift him up. So I roll first and then see what happens if it happens, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
what do you want me to roll?
before you roll that cantrip to help him, right? There's a cantrip
That's a spell.
before that.
Oh yeah, that was a cantrip. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So for entangle,
I think it's just
I think it's
roll
just do it.
roll the hit.
Roll the hit. Okay. And 20, right?
Or you know what?
I mean, we can probably just lift him out if you want to try and save the spell for a fight.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, looking at this spell, that this particular spell doesn't really allow you to do. The spell's made to restrain stuff.
Well, it says change the terrain, right?
Correct. It means like if someone ran through a bunch of vines, it would trip and it would entangle them.
Well, I can entangle the body.
Yeah, but you can't
You can't make the
you
vines.
can't do the vine. You
active
can't
thing?
control the vines. Like you don't have spell bending skills here.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
We can lift
Alright.
him out.
We'll lift the stinky
Yeah, okay.
guy out of the
I'm
ground.
pretending like I'm still sick, so you guys are doing the majority of the lifting.
All right. So you guys lift his body out, and I think that the grave might be dug pretty. I mean, it's more than 6 feet. Obviously, some of you guys are shorter and can't fully lift, so you guys kind of stumble the body. The body kind of falls on you a little bit, and then finally do like a good heave ho, kind of just throw the body out of the grave.
And I sarcastically say, "Oh, yeah, that was respectful."
We have to do what we're doing here. I'm sorry. You guys climb out of the grave, and you hear Abram says, "All right, this part isn't going to be pretty, but we got to find out where he's keeping this item." And he begins to slowly cut away at the linen, and
What are you doing, man?
he slowly opens the linens, and there's this very pale white body that's slightly bloated, eyes closed with coins on them, and it's
Can I take the coins?
And what are you guys feeling right now? Seeing your friends kind of
I'm
this
feeling
way.
that's 2 gold coins that could do the orphanage pretty well.
I'm starting to cry, actually. Like, I wanted to get over this. I want to get over all this and get it done with so quickly. But because I'm so...
This is like so defiled.
Yeah, because I'm so emotional. This is so graphic. Can we please just get the hell over with?
And while that's going on, I use sleight of hand to take the 2 coins.
I'm just gonna let you do it. You don't even have to roll for it. But,
All right. And what were they?
Actually, roll a
Roll, right?
roll a d20 for me.
Okay. 20. Nat.
Done.
Boom! Nat 20.
Yeah, we get both
All
coins.
right. So he
Right.
gets 12 coins, and somehow no one.
And 2 gold.
And no one knows.
No
Oh,
one-
I'm sorry. Plus 6. So,
Oh, he smites those
So-
coins.
Jeff rolls a nat 20, and the second that the casket or the linens were open, he kind of does like a, "Oh my gosh, my dear friend," and he puts his hand over Henry's forehead and says,
well, that's my gold.
I'm sorry, buddy,"
Okay,
and
my
taps him, pulls back his hand, and the gold coins are gone. No one even noticed that gold coins were there.
So I asked Deku, hey,
There was only 2 of them. He doesn't have like 5 eyes.
don't they usually put coins on the eyes in this territory?
If the burial was proper, it would. Something
Well,
is
I guess-
unusual with this tomb.
Yeah, I guess so. And we move
See,
on.
the thing is, though, and we move on, but you wouldn't have noticed because he's sleight of hand.
Right. Well, he's saying that.
Don't they usually?
He didn't know they were even there at all because you got him so quick.
Well, maybe
So I'm kind of working up something to be pissed off on.
Something's
Maybe-
amiss with this ring.
Maybe, boys, we could donate to the cause here and put some coins on his eyes when we're done. And anyways,
I got too much.
maybe we can put coins from the goblins on him or something. I don't know. But anyways, so he fully opens up the linens, and he's searching his pockets and not finding anything. And he moves his way up. He's
I
just
use
wearing
sleight of
commoners.
hand
No.
to pickpocket it.
He's just wearing commoner's clothing, and he makes his way up, and he feels, you can see him clearly feeling where his collarbone kind of meets. And you see that raised underneath the fabric, there is a little, like, lump. And he lowers his shirt, and there is a brass cylinder just on a leather piece of cord. And you see him.
And I say, oh, Mezuzah. I didn't know he was Jewish.
You see Abram take.
Move on.
You see Abram take his knife and he cuts the cord. He reties the cord together and he puts it around his own neck and he puts it under his shirt.
What's
And
that there you've got?
At this moment, you gentlemen hear, "What the hell are you doing?" As the sheriff, a church warden, and a gravedigger stand behind you with lanterns.
Oh shit!
So I'm scared and I'm very surprised. I look behind and say, "We're trying to do your job and get justice for this murder."
We don't even. Well, okay, yeah, it was murder, but I'm supposed to be gruff. This is the sheriff speaking. He says, "You boys don't have jurisdiction. This is my town, and you don't dig up people. What are you going to learn that we haven't already learned?"
He doesn't even have coins on his eyes.
Can I try to persuade him that it was goblins?
Way to go!
Oh, there you go. That one better.
Yeah. He didn't have coins in his eyes. How did you know that? You showed up late to the funeral.
We just found it out. There were none here.
All right. Roll a persuasion check if y'all want to.
Can we persuade them that the goblins did it? Like, there's a blood seal that we fought off the goblins.
I mean,
they dug up the grave.
I can roll, and whoever's gonna roll high.
We just came upon this.
Let's all roll.
Apparently, a goblin came up on it and threw up on the grave.
Yeah, everyone roll a d20. Whoever gets, if somebody fucking passes it, then we're persuading them that we're just doing our job. They're trying to help.
Oh, 19.
Nice.
18.
18.
I got 6.
So
But
who got
plus
the
4.
Who got the
So
18?
10.
I got a 19.
Okay, JJ, I want you to try to persuade him. What are you persuading him about?
Well, didn't you say you got 19 though?
Yeah, I got 19.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mark, go and try to persuade this man right now. What do you say?
We just came upon this grave, and we suspect that the goblins may have dug it up for the gold. They came in on giant bats.
All right, that might be true. At the same time, I find it odd that you're saying you just happened upon a grave, and this happens to be the grave that you said you were looking for earlier. So this is what I'm going to do.
Got a butt in on him? Okay.
He's going to say, you're not guilty, or you're innocent until proven otherwise, but right now, boys, you're all under arrest. Get out of that grave and I don't know what he says. Just get out of that grave right now. What do you guys do?
Okay.
You can talk amongst yourselves.
Are we looking at like
Wait.
manacles and shit?
Let me
Are we
quickly-
getting shackled or?
I keep screwing this up. Let me set some rules.
That's an option. I can charm them, Mark.
Hold on. You can ask me questions. Don't ask each other questions unless you're in character. And if someone's talking, let that person fully talk.
Okay,
Otherwise,
guys,
it gets a little too
guys, I think we can take him. Let's just kill him and get this over with because we have a higher purpose here.
Now, are you saying this in front of him? Because he can hear what you're saying.
I'm having the damn powwow.
Yeah, we're huddled up.
I mean-
we're huddled up there.
Yeah, but the guy's still
I thought you
standing
just
right
said
over
because-
us.
Well, his hand is on the sword. He's got 2 other people with him. He just said you're under arrest. Get out of the grave.
Are
You're
you
gonna-
gonna kill a priest?
Are you gonna? I mean, you can do that. You can do that.
A religious man like you're gonna kill a priest?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're going for justice here, and I'm
Well,
already.
tell him-
Listen, I don't know what your situation is, but I'm already fucking frustrated because I knew this man. I dug him up, and if you want to ask me about jurisdiction,
Didn't dig him up. The goblins did.
You guys want
Alright.
We just fucking persuaded him.
oh, sorry, I
Pay
forgot.
attention, Tinder.
So,
If you guys want, I can
See-
try to charm them. Scott free. So we can
seeing
get out of
this
here.
shit show unravel in front of him, Mark gave a not so good persuasive thing about the goblins that didn't really make sense, but he was sort of persuaded that it may have been the goblins. Jay, I'm playing it like what you said counts, and that's okay. That's okay. It works out. That
He's a goblin.
he just said. You just said that you.
He singled himself out. He didn't
dug him up.
say we. He said
Right.
I.
Okay. And in the process of this quick 5 seconds, you guys also then huddled up in front of him Abram is looking completely petrified of, oh shit, everything just hit the fan. And this sheriff is now got his long sword fully unsheathed. The gravedigger has a crossbow pulled up on you with a bolt in it, and the church warden pulls out a sword as well.
At
The
this point,
sheriff says, "Boys, I can make this quick for you, or I can make this done the right way. We have the high ground. We have a bolt pointed at one of your faces right now. Maybe he's pointing at you because you're the one that moved quickly and started saying, let's just kill this man." The sheriff says, "Get out of that grave right now, or else."
I put on a shit-eating grin on my face and say, "You got one bolt, but there's 4 of us."
to which I immediately put both hands in the air.
Okay.
We've got many years on you.
I'm in handcuffs. I'm manacled.
Abram puts his hands up as Jeff puts his hands up, and he says, "Boys, I think you need to do what the man is saying." Jeff and Abram get out of the hole,
David.
Abram and David get out of the grave.
Hey, let's have a secret conversation. Can you just charm us out of it?
Good job. I mean, he can straight up hear you.
Well,
Yeah, but
if he's charmed, if he's charmed, doesn't matter.
Abram, not seeing you guys following him, Mark, I don't know what you're doing. Abram looks at you and goes, "Get out of the grave."
Okay, I'm out here.
Wait, which one's the sheriff? And the crossbow dude. Okay. So yeah, we're already.
What if we tell them, you've got the high ground, but we've got many more years behind the sword. We'll best be on our way.
That's not what's happening here. You are under arrest until I get to the bottom of what's going on. You will stand trial for what is happening right here unless I find someone else that I can put in front of the magistrate.
All right, I'm rolling this die. We're doing this thing. Get your wisdom saving throw ready.
Okay.
We got to do this.
You gotta do it to 3 people.
No, just one. The sheriff runs the town.
We'll give you.
If I convince the sheriff, then they got to back off.
Keep in mind here. I don't know. They will be aware that you're casting magic on him.
That's fine.
Well, yeah, but who cares?
It's the sheriff. Are you gonna go against the sheriff's law? He's my friend now.
All right. I mean,
If you
Right.
succeed.
I'm just saying. If they see
If I don't succeed, I look like a dick. I'm going right to jail. I'm going to charm
I'm gonna,
If you don't succeed, you gotta.
I don't want to rumble you guys, but think of this as a police officer has a gun on you with 2 other police officers. This is why. They play it out this way.
It's happened to me
And-
many times.
and
That's
it's
why
like-
I asked.
They're saying put your hands up and step out of the
I've got a cantrip to use before he does the
Like, you were saying.
before he tries to charm.
Keep in mind, Abram, your leaders telling you to get the fuck out of the grave and act normal.
But so before he tries to cast the charm spell, I'm gonna use my light cantrip for a blinding blast that will distract the sheriff and his 2 minions.
I see what you're saying.
That's awesome.
He's trying to distract
He's
the
gonna-
other people so that if the charm works, they don't see that he charmed them.
He's blinding light.
It doesn't matter.
That's
They will
really good.
begin to hack and slash and shoot at you because you are doing magic against them. I don't know if you
Okay,
realize
how
that.
long does magic take? DM, how long does it take? 1
Okay,
second, half
okay.
a second, a millisecond?
Yeah, like you do the same thing and they're gonna be doing the same thing. Abram again says, "Boys, get out of the grave. We are gonna talk to these nice men so we can be on our way. There's a perfectly good, acceptable reason for why we are doing this right now. There is no reason
I do
for
not.
them."
Cancel it. I'm sorry.
Are you that stressed out?
We're under arrest. I'm fucking nervous.
All right, so Jay just admitted that he's under arrest, so he can get out of the hole also.
Yeah, I give up. Okay, fine. What the fuck ever.
Okay, so
Terrible anyway.
there are now
Feels like puke.
there are two men with a bolt, a crossbow, and a sword drawn, holding you three. Abram sits down, puts his hands on his head, and says, "Boys, do the same thing right now."
To which instinctively I spread my cheeks and lift my sack.
What are you doing?
Or trying to persuade them.
You see,
Oh,
seeing that Abram is doing this, and Jeff does this.
Wait, what did I do?
The man with the crossbow, the gravedigger, is looking at you. Are you taking a seat as well?
I'm rolling my eyes and I'm getting down on my knees.
Okay. He kind of relaxes his crossbow position a little bit here. So Mark and John are still in the grave. What are you guys doing?
I'm climbing out.
I'm gonna.
And I am just so drunk and pissed off, and I'm just putting my hands up, saying, "Forget this."
Okay, Mark, what are you doing? There's four of your friends sitting in a circle, Indian style, and you're still in this grave.
Except for me,
I'm
I'm
gonna
like
climb out and tell them, we've done nothing wrong here. We've just come upon this grave.
Or I'm gonna upon this.
Judge Smith will determine if that is true or not. I suggest you boys keep quiet until you stand before him. You're only incriminating yourselves a little bit more here in my eyes. And he says, "All right, move it." And with one man in front of you and him and the other behind you, they begin to lead you back down the tunnel of trees. And
are we not allowed to rebury Homeboy?
You just leave.
No.
That's gotta piss you
I mean,
off.
if you want to say something, you can say something.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll use persuasion to ask if we can at least rebury our
You
friend.
don't have to use persuasion.
Okay. Well, can we?
So he is cut like
Dude.
his thing's open. It is puke on him.
And it smells
Yeah,
like
it's
shit.
not open.
It smells like- oh, the rags are cut.
The rags.
The rags are. Oh, okay. You
All
got
right, and I just said, "Can we at least rebury our friend?"
Can you hear that at all, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. The gravedigger looks at you and says, "I buried him once. It looks like I will be burying him twice later tonight. Get your ass moving."
To which I reply, "Well, this time, don't skimp out on the coin screws."
I put coins on that man's eyes.
I
Don't
say-
tell me I didn't.
I didn't see any coins on his eyes.
I
None of us
immediately
did.
shut
You've
up.
done him a great disservice.
We didn't see it because we weren't there. We didn't take it up.
You guys gotta remember what you're telling these people.
Now, here's the thing. I'm trying to establish the precedent, and this is table talk. Table talk's allowed.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, just a little bit, just so everyone knows. I'm doing this shit so that we at least have a backup plan for, like, we were justified in wanting to make sure our friend was buried properly.
Fair enough.
Now,
Because none of us were there to see it.
the gravedigger's saying that he personally put coins on his eyes, and they're gone. So
Well, how does he know? Did he check? He said he's going to have to rebury him later.
Oh, he must be drunk.
He personally put them on.
I know I am.
He knows that he put them on. And the sheriff and the other guy, once again, you're only, like as the sheriff said, you're only incriminating yourself further by talking about what's
I'm going to use...
going on. Abram at this point goes, shh, very like forcefully. Like,
As we're walking towards jail, can I attempt to use sleight of hand to put the 2 gold coins in the gravedigger's pocket? Because I want to make it look like this motherfucker's been skimping every corpse.
you got two other guys looking at you, but yeah, I tried.
Well, it's sleight of hand, though.
You
It
failed.
fools everyone.
Failed the once again. You're incriminating yourself.
You know, never mind.
I was gonna say.
I've been having some hot hands with the dice.
So much for a backup plan.
We established the precedent. Whatever.
So they walk you to the white building that you first saw the sheriff at when you showed up in Burke Hollow. It's the magistrate building. Also like the sheriff's department / the town hall and
Roll the party check.
courthouse. They bring you into the building, which has a big hall and has other doors. He then takes you to the first door on the left, and there is a shield, a copper shield on the door. And he opens the door, and there's a small office with a few cells, iron barred cells. There's no windows inside this room. There's another door to the right that you guys don't see into. It's just closed. He says, all right, you old man and the elf, get in that cell. You dwarf, you go in the right cell by yourself.
Oh.
And then he points at you two. He says, you two, middle one, now. And you guys go into cells.
So where are we at?
We're in the prison, so it's two of us in the middle.
I think that's you and me, right?
Yeah, and then poor Ariel is blind, so.
All right, let's use it.
48081.
You still humble or
No, he's tumbling.
I'm grinding.
Brian,
oh jeez. Well, learn something new about Jamie.
Hornet.
So he puts you guys in the cells, and he makes sure and checks that the cells are locked. Just before he put you in the cells, too, he had you guys pile up all your weapons in a corner of the room into a big wooden chest. You guys willingly do so, and
Just weapons?
weapons and anything
So
that he
rat?
looks like he could do something with. He then locks the chest and says, I will be back. Don't try anything funny. I'm just outside the door, and I will be getting more deputies to stand here and watch with me. So he begins talking to the gravedigger and the church warden, and he walks out of the room and shuts the door behind him. The second that the door shuts, Abram looks at all of you and goes, what the fuck are you doing? I just told you about a secret map that no one's supposed to know about but us. And you guys are getting us in trouble. You should have just listened to the man. You should have listened to me. I don't know why you're making this worse for us. There's a chance that we could be all found guilty and we're going nowhere. And we're in prison. It doesn't look good that we're digging up the man that was just murdered in town, does it?
And I argue, excuse me, wasn't it you who told us that we had to dig up the fucker in the first place to find the little mezuzah on his neck?
This is your idea to begin with.
Okay, yes, maybe it's my idea, but the point is, why are you not listening to authority here?
What the fuck kind of
think-
authority are you talking about?
The sheriff of the town, like,
Oh,
guy who has
I only know one authority, and that's Mother Nature.
I think it's time you told us the truth.
keep in mind, look at what your alignment is. Like, if you're lawful good, if you're
I'm stubborn, and I
good in general, like, you should be listening somewhat to what he is saying, and also what a sheriff would be saying.
but like for my care, like I'm neutral, dude. So like I'm trying to find the best of like
Okay.
both worlds here. I'm
Yeah.
looking around, right? So we trusted you, you know, whoever the fuck you are, and I also submitted. We all fucking submitted to the sheriff, and now we're in this fucking trouble.
Say that as a character.
And now we're in this fucking trouble.
Okay, Ali, calm down. We aren't necessarily in trouble. And that was my point, is why get ourselves in trouble where we just raise our hands and say, oh, sorry, yeah, let's go to the jailhouse and talk this thing through. And you guys are talking about killing the man and shit. It doesn't look exactly good now, does it?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Ali,
In the
I think
meantime,
it's time.
we're locked in.
you guys are locked in.
Okay, and now is there at least portholes on the doors that we can like look out, like from food to come in?
It's just
whatnot?
like they're just
There's iron bars.
old
Okay, so I
school.
don't have to use the mirror in my thieves tool set to look and see if the sheriff's listening to us.
No.
Okay.
You can see, like, so let me paint a picture. Here's your cells where you guys are. Here's your cells where you are. You guys are. This is just a wall, and you're in a cube of a room. I don't know what that is.
This is our cell.
You're in your cells. So this is hugging a wall. There's no windows. There's like a desk here. The door that he just walked out of that enters this room is right here. So they're outside talking right now. And then there's another door here that's just closed. And then your chest is over here with your weapons in it next to the desk. And it's locked. Abram looks at you and says, also, he took your bag of stuff.
That's why I asked about weapons. I want to use my thieves too.
Abram looks at all of you right now and he goes, "Hey, boys, I need you to understand one thing right now. I'm a wizard. You know that, right? You saw me do magic earlier. And
Well, you couldn't get us out of the fucking situation in the graveyard now, can you?
you can't get charmed anymore, can you? Okay, let me make this clear to you. We don't want to leave a trail of bodies with people asking questions as we go on a secret adventure to find lost and hidden gold that people haven't known about for 1,000 years. Do we want anything? Yeah, you already know this.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's why
You've got some good points, but I think you need to finally
Also-
tell us the truth about that script you took off the body.
Deku, you
There
said
you go.
tell you the truth. What do you mean by tell you the truth?
What was on the manuscript from the body? Within the
What is it?
The tube?
yeah.
It's just a cylinder tube with like a screw off cap with a little bead that goes up to the cord. He goes, okay, I will show you. He unscrews.
The mezuzah.
Is that what
Yeah, it's a mezuzah. Just go on. Let's
He
go.
unscrews the mezuzah, as you guys call it.
Mazel tov.
And you see him dump out. He kind of shakes it, and this white cylinder falls
That's some
out,
white powder.
and it's solid. And he holds it up, and he goes, "This is a candle. You can't see the wick, but this is a candle, and this is what we need to get the book that has the map to the king's tomb. This is the key that will allow us to go forward. Okay? I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, but that's what this is. You guys didn't really ask me though, so I didn't, say anything. Anyways, I need this for later, and this needs to be kept safe. Only you and me can know about this. You got it?
What do you mean you and me? Who are you talking to? You.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
okay.
Did the sheriff also take my deck of marked cards?
Yes.
Damn it.
They patted you guys down and took pretty much everything.
I wanted to impress him with the movie.
Now let me just tell you once again, I please, for the love of God, I hope I didn't make the wrong decision in hiring you. It's starting to look that way. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves here. Okay? We are going to comply. We are going to sit here till morning and come up with the best possible explanation that we can to get our asses out of this situation the right way. We aren't going to break out. We aren't going to kill anyone. We're going to leave here as upstanding citizens that got ourselves into a misunderstanding. Okay? All right.
I suppose so.
Oh, good.
All right.
I mean, I was with him.
Get your freaking thinking caps on, man. How the fuck are we getting out of here? Jeff? David? You already said that it was goblins that dug them up and stole the
Did I
gold.
say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
When you were persuading him.
Um,
No, it was
I did.
Deku, you said that it was goblins that dug him up to steal the gold coins on his face.
Meanwhile, none of these guys know I took it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
After Ari had asked why they weren't there. Okay, whatever. Then
honestly, for all they know,
Who was it that was arguing with the grave digger about the gold coins?
Jay.
Yeah.
I mean, I brought up that there weren't them two with the grave digger.
Okay.
I mentioned it to him that
This is so complicated for me.
after the
You
part, baby.
told the grave digger that the coins weren't placed on his eyes. Why didn't he do it? But Deku, you said that the goblins probably took them, and that you stumbled upon the grave as if you didn't know who the grave belonged to, even though we were here like 2 hours ago. And
We can say we knew the guy because
hold
we told the sheriff earlier.
on.
What do you mean 2 hours? Who was there 2 hours?
You guys were there 2
We
hours
were at
ago.
the
Oh,
grave.
right.
and
Not the people. Okay, I thought you meant the people who were.
And the sheriff knows, right? The sheriff knows that we said we were gonna go see
Yeah,
him.
you asked him to talk to him.
So that we're visiting the grave right now. That's what we said.
Okay, well then, that's my point. And then Ari went and said that he dug up the grave and was offended by his friend being dug up and that he did it and we all did it. And that kind of screws up our storyline with the goblin. So what the fuck are we going to tell the judge?
All right,
We
all
should
right.
show them the goblin blood from the battle earlier. I think he left his arm behind.
Okay, there is no arm left.
Blood splatter. At least it'll
Okay.
comply with our alibi.
Okay. Okay, so we tell them that there's blood there.
So-
or what?
From the battle that we fought on.
Here's the thing. We all smell like booze because we've been drinking. I get a little deeper because I want to be able to hear. All right, whatever. Fight. So we tell them that we got drunk and we missed our friend so much that we had to see him one more time.
Okay, but how do we explain the discrepancy between goblins dug them up and we dug them up?
We went to the cemetery with intent to dig him up, and when we got there, he was already dug up.
We didn't tend to dig him up. Don't tell me what to dig him up.
Why would
So-
we have dug them up?
Exactly.
Where did that get us?
Plus, we tell them we were completely drunk. Weren't we just at a pub? Were witnesses
We
see
were.
us at the pub?
We were
Okay,
drunk.
okay. Why? But why are we digging him up? Why do you dig up our friend?
Why do you text your ex-girlfriend when you're drunk? Oh my
So
God.
I don't know what text is, but okay.
You know, like when you send a bat with a message.
With an M word? With a bat with a what?
What's wrong with wanting to see our friend one last time?
I mean,
Don't you think that's plausible?
Hold
A bunch of
on.
completely
hold
drunk
on.
people.
Hold on.
And you're a warrior priest. You wanted to make sure he was buried according to your rights.
The man speaks the truth.
Okay, maybe that works. We have a cleric too of the same god. He is a priest. But you guys are saying that we're gonna dig him up, make sure that he has the proper burial. But he
Which
was
we found
hold
out
on,
he wasn't.
hold on. He was buried by a priest of his faith.
Have
And
you not heard of the sex abuse scandal?
Not the good priest forgot the coins.
Absolutely. Just because he's a priest doesn't mean he's God.
All right, hold on. What if they call him the priest? Testify against us. I mean,
We're gonna put the evidence right in front of his face and crucify the fucker if he lies.
I don't know what you're saying because the priest is clearly like a well-known figure here. Why would they believe?
It's his word against ours.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
because I'll tell you why. Because the priest can go to the grave and see if the coins are there.
Here's the other thing. What in the first place made these people find out that we were here? Why were there three of them? I don't believe that the sheriff was just strolling in the woods with a grave digger and a church warden. I guarantee you the church warden saw something going on, grabbed the grave digger, and then went to the sheriff.
So you're saying it was a setup?
I'm not saying it's a setup. I'm saying when we heard something, I heard something, it was probably someone running to go get help.
So you're saying it's a setup?
I don't think it was a setup. I think
So
we were digging up a body and we got caught.
no, the goblins were doing it.
Goblin.
The fucking goblins!
Okay.
The body
He
was
used a
dug
bit of
up.
black magic upon us,
We were drunk in the bar that
So
night.
let's
Let the man speak to the computer. What'd you say?
saying the goblins were using a bit of black magic against us in our drunken state.
what does that even mean?
But you even me.
I thought you did magic yourself. I do magic.
The goblin Changa
some-
made us
some-
do
You guys
unforgettable
want to see some
things.
magic?
We succumbed to the drink and we've lost our memories.
We miss our friend. We were
Okay.
super drunk.
We lost our memories, but we're awake
Momentarily.
now. We're gonna sober up, and then we're gonna have to talk sober tomorrow. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
We should break out of prison.
All right, how about this? How about this? We said the goblins dug them up for the gold. Now we didn't see any gold, even though the grave digger said there was gold. Now that's weird. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, neither do I.
Jeff, you want to like say what your body like your
I'm kind of sitting playing it cool.
okay. All right,
Expert thief over here.
all right.
Mage, do you
So-
have any spells to get us out of here?
I'm talking. Hold on, boy.
I need a cigarette.
You upset areolas.
Keep it going. Keep it.
Keep it going.
I can't. You gotta be.
Yeah, you kind of need to pay attention, Jay. It's a group effort.
I'll take a break in just a second. I
I'm-
just need to get to the bottom of it.
We're having an issue here.
All right. Okay. We went there drunk to dig up our friend. Maybe that's where the story of Jay saying we're digging him up, and maybe he was angry at the sheriff for interrupting because we wanted to see our friend, and it wasn't right. Maybe that's Jay's or Ari's story. Now, the gold was gone. We can maybe blame that on the goblins and say that the grave was already dug up and we found our friend like that. That would explain why the rags were ripped open as if they maybe were trying to loot his body as well. Okay?
Okay, so what you're telling me is that we just tell them that we didn't do it. That we came there because why? So why were we there in the first place? Let's establish this.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to
We
say. You
already
said
we were drunk.
we were drunk, we wanted to dig him up, but
So
like,
we're gonna say that we were going to pay the respects for the last time, and we found the grave all torn open, and we just happened to like jump in
yeah,
because that makes sense.
I was drunk.
I mean,
and fell
I would argue that it
I'll
doesn't.
prove it.
I'll light fire and burp into it.
I would argue that it doesn't make any sense because you have a cleric of the faith of Henry Walden. You have a warrior priest, a paladin of the same faith as Henry Walden, and two of you are friends of him. One of them being the warrior priest, and he
the
was
other one was so
buried.
overcome with grief that he got drunk and he vomited and fell into the grave.
You can say it
Hold
was
on,
in his
hold
will to dig him up and puke on him.
Let the man speak.
We gotta take turns, like, or else it gets horribly choppy, and it screws up like the flow of the talking.
I ordered the pizza.
I need like a talk. You ordered a pizza?
Yes.
We need like no joke, like a talking stick because I screwed it up.
I called this pack of cigarettes. You all owe me $9.
Yeah. You still got a lot of gold.
It's $40.
Holy shit! How much pizza did you order?
I ordered an XL.
Oh my god!
From Papa John's.
There's only 4 of us.
Just each of you give me $9.
Gosh,
Okay, whatever. Let's keep it going.
All right. So
Mark doesn't even get pizza.
Yeah, Mark, you owe me $9.
PayPal right now.
You got $1?
No, that's
yeah, make it 2.
Yeah, you got a 3?
You should have told us, man.
I got $1.
I'm not hungry.
There you go. You guys are great.
Right.
Roll for it.
What?
You need $10?
Yeah, because I don't have $1. I don't have change.
Oh.
You owe me $9. You owe me $5. Okay, take some extra pizza. All right.
Okay,
Oh, I got $1 back.
okay. This is our story. We're sticking
I
to
need
it.
for the bus. That's what
But we need to figure out the last bit of it. Okay. We went to the graveyard drunk, out of our minds drunk. We're
so drunk we all puked.
we're deranged with grief of our dead murdered friend. And we got there and we discovered the goblins had dug him up. Now, okay, we were going to dig him up too. That's the story we're going by. You're saying though that a priest and a cleric would have dug up their friend to figure out if he was buried properly by a priest of the faith he had. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So we have to come up with something better than that.
It was already dug up when we got there.
Hey, let's do the talking stick thing. Okay, grab the talking stick.
Okay, how about we do this? We'll go once around and come up with a better explanation for why we may have exhumed his body from the burial place that the church decided to put him in. Now, I don't know if the man had a will, but that may have been where he wanted to be buried. I don't know. All right, Deku, what do you say? What reasoning can you have for us digging him up? You're a cleric. Do you have like any religious precedents for why this might happen? I don't think the burial being improper will work, but I don't know. Can you think of anything? If you can't, you can just say, "Come back to me," and we'll move on.
You can come back to me. Yep.
I had a good one too, and I took a slug at it.
We were.
I think that we tell them that we were going there to. You come back to me too. I can't remember what I was going to say.
I'll kill it. They don't know a timeline. We can say that the body was out of the grave and dug up. Everything is just as we saw it by the goblins. We were in the grave because we were drinking, and two of us fell in. Somebody vomited. I don't know who, but somebody vomited on the body. It's part of our alibi. It's part of our alibi. They don't have a timeline. This is what we can blame it all on the goblins.
Okay.
Because the sheriff already knew.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
But I'm sorry, but you did say, and the sheriff straight up heard you and brought it up, that you were going to kill him. Also, that we dug this up ourselves.
Okay, I apologize because we were completely drunk and I'm just aggressive. And we all came from the pub. So
how do we explain that we didn't dig him?
You don't have to speak and stick.
Give him the stick.
It's like as soon as I grab this damn thing, I forget what I was going to say. Oh yeah, no.
My point is, they heard you say, I'm not trying to blame you or anything. It's just we have to figure out a new story. How do we come up with a reason?
Okay. So what's the problem though? We're completely drunk. So we say stupid things that don't make a difference.
Okay, we're drunk. Sure, just because you're drunk, you don't go dig up your friends that you have respect for his religion for. For Zevlin's sake, you are a paladin of his faith. Are you not?
Oh, so that means like being an alcoholic doesn't factor in there? I make up shit. I'm sorry, but I do.
We tried to stop him, but he fell right in the grave.
I don't see how that will play well. I think we can come up with a better explanation for why we were digging him up.
You're trying to give us a little something.
I'm trying.
I'm reasoning as a character, saying like I don't think it would fly.
We could lie.
I mean, we're all gonna lie here. That's what we're gonna have to do.
We could lie and say that we were trying to recover an item that a personal family member of the deceased requested.
Okay, but then they're gonna say you're also being stuck.
Let's bring the sheriff in on it. Let's come clean and tell him what we were doing and bring him and his posse on the whole thing.
Not a good idea.
I don't believe that's a good idea because we don't know who the sheriff is linked to.
We could bribe him with the gold items you give us.
I don't think this is a man that's going to take well to a bribe.
Every man has his price. Didn't you promise us that there was some big shit going on? This is an opportunity for us to come clean with you, Abram Hornsby.
Listen.
We can pimp out David.
Once again, we don't need to bring any attention to ourselves. We pace them off. They know that we have done something for some reason, correct? So we're trying to cover it up with a bribe. Why would we do that?
Okay, so what do you suggest?
I don't know. I mean, okay, once again, you are a cleric, you're a priest of the faith of Zevlin. You're a paladin, you're basically like a monk, warrior monk. How do we prove that we're digging him up for like a religious reason? What I mean, are there holy sites? Maybe
maybe he wanted to be buried by a certain priest.
Hey, give Deku to speak instead. What's up, Deku?
There you go.
We can say we were performing ancient burial rituals from his ancient books, and they're not of modern acceptance. So,
yeah, I mean, but once again, though, the priest of the church that we saw, Father Jacob, will know if that's bullshit or not immediately.
Okay, I will give him the legit bullshit because I'm the warrior priest. I know that there's an orthodox way to bury followers of Zivlin, and there's a reformer's way of burying other people. And because I knew him before any of the people in this town did, I will testify, and I will invent such a story that even though he wasn't a devoted...
Keep in mind, you have to roll.
Now keep in mind, too, that Henry Wall was like 60 or 45, and he's been in this town like his whole life. Also, he's a religious man, so he probably had a relationship with Father Jacob in the sense of like a spiritual advisor.
Forget it. I can guide you.
I can use guidance on you and help a little bit.
All right.
So he's clearly... Hang on. Time out. He's clear. Okay, so he's... Never mind.
Right. Here's the thing. You can say that the goblins dug him up first. We were there to dig him up. We were drunk.
We arrived there.
We had delusions of grandeur for a purpose of being there. Are there holy sites? I don't believe that Zivlin is big in like I don't see any Zivlin monuments here. I see a church. That's it. Is there somewhere else? Is there like a holy city for Zivlin? Is there somewhere where you're buried?
Sorry, hang on. Okay, listen. Okay, time out. Let's be 21st century for a minute. Let's be real for a minute. Like, what are you saying? Because you just told me that he's older than I am, so my character doesn't have any like religious. I can't claim any religious hierarchy.
We could,
but it sounds like you're guiding me toward that. But you just said I can't do it.
I think you were saying that like
because I want to claim some authority over the religious practice. What's going on? Like
right.
saying that the burial was like in some ultra orthodox way improper.
Right. But then you have a priest that was in charge of doing this, and he has clearly more like say than you because he's like a 6-year-old man, and the guy has also been in this town for 6 years himself. He probably has a spiritual relationship with the person. So, okay.
Well, that's fine, but it sounds like you're guiding us as like real world, helping us like toward this. It sounds like you're guiding us toward there.
I keep asking you. Is there a religious site that he may have wanted to be buried at? Or maybe, hold on.
So you're the
talking stick. Maybe because we're drunk assholes, we thought we were going to give him a better burial than maybe his actual wishes were. That might make sense. Now, where is a place of Zivlin that is like a grand place to be buried at? Don't poke anything.
Not here. Auric Vale.
Okay, what's in Auric Vale?
I don't know, it's a first name I can't call it.
I mean, that's where you're from, is it not?
It's kind of dim in here. It's hard to read the map. It's extra, the other place.
So, wait, I don't know where my map is.
But how, okay, so riddle me this. How, okay, if the priest over there who's 60 and I'm 45 has more religious knowledge, okay, so I know, never mind.
Auric Vale is right there.
Okay.
Say it again?
How am I going to convince? Okay, so, yes, okay.
You don't have to convince. You can just say that we are drunk assholes trying to bury.
That's what I said from the beginning!
They don't understand you.
Yeah, we just make it up that we're just a bunch of crazy people, and then we don't let anybody on to the fact that we try to find out what the fuck is in this little candle in this golden mezuzah.
As you say that, the door to the sheriff's office opens, and 5 people in green, dark cloaks with some leather armor and swords with helmets, and the sheriff in front of them, making a total of 6, walk in and say, "It's getting a little loud in here, boys. Everything okay?"
Okay, so I say to everybody, like really quiet, like between the cells, "Okay, guys, we have to be really, really drunk. Just play dumb. Just play dumb."
Jay, don't say it out loud.
No,
in
he's
the
whispering. He's saying
room.
he's whispering. He's whispering.
He's whispering. He's saying, "Quiet us."
And I say, "Hello, boys. How you doing?"
I'll pass out in the corner. I'll just be like,
I puke again.
I'll say,
I make myself puke.
I'm from the Great White Woods. It's the greatest woods in all the world.
We win. Whatever the fuck. We win. We're completely.
Abram looks at you and kind of like laughing and shaking his head, and his eyes or his eyebrows are raised up like, "Holy shit, this better work." Says, "I need to take a shit."
And then he shites his pants.
And right there, we're gonna take a quick a break. So if you guys want to go smoke or something,
This is fucking awesome.
Here's his pants.
Yeah, please tell me Abram shat himself.
How's this door work?
slide door.
It closes, it opens, closes.
for you that are watching this at home, I apologize. We were figuring out how to play this game, and it was a little long-winded there. Also, I'm probably a horrible DM, so.
Oh, don't be so down on yourself. You're not probably a horrible DM. You definitely are.
So any pointers or tips you want to leave in the comments, please do so. Also, this session is brought to you by Bullet Rye and Marlboro Red Cigarettes.
Well, I can't hold it.
Oh man, I just got a cramp.
Pizza.
Oh, I hate that.
Zip up.
Move your flies down
sorry.
too,
It's on
man.
camera, too. Man, you
Yeah,
two.
we're getting the leather daddy's letter.
Lord. Anyways, we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back.
You gonna leave it on the record?
Yeah, it has to.
Should have had the Tupperware. Damn it. No, you're doing great so far, huh? What's that?
Outside.
What's that? Tom.
Here's your Mark. Do you eat cereal?
No popcorn.
All right, we're back. So we are waiting on a pizza. Mark, you there? I see you. There you are. Okay. We're just waiting on Ari and David. The magnificent Wayne.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I have to. I don't know if I have to. I already told my brother I'll probably be there Sunday at the latest. But it's like everyone's meeting up on Saturday.
Okay, whatever. Let's go after the show.
Do you have all your dice?
Yeah, the ones I don't use often are in the.
Okay. Did you have only 3 up here?
Yeah.
Okay, I actually need 9 come down there. Put that up.
I built a nice little statue for the orphans. I'm doing it for the kids, Rob.
I do it all for the
It's for the
kids.
kids.
All right.
It's
So
for the kids.
little
Like
recap.
Wu-Tang, for the kids.
Little recap. The boys got themselves in a pickle. Were found digging up the grave
And puking.
of their friend Henry Walden. They didn't really get their stories very well in line with each other, and so there's conflicting things, but they all just decided that, hey, we're just going to act like we're a bunch of drunk assholes, and we came up with this idea to dig him up to go bury him somewhere else at a better religious site, and it's most likely what he would have wanted, even if it's not, because they can just say, well, we were just drunk assholes, and we weren't thinking about him, we were thinking about ourselves and what we thought was best. Not what necessarily what he wanted.
Goblins act in the cemetery. We figured it flies around this.
Say it again?
We saw the way the goblins were acting, not knowing, wink, wink, that they were rival gangs.
Yeah, we're even like. Do we bring up? This is out of characters and meta thing, but whatever. Do we bring up the goblins? Do we, do we just say that the goblins must have robbed a grave,
If
or
it comes down to it, I think we should
So
bring up
basically,
there were goblins. Otherwise, we just say we were drunk.
okay. Well, we're saying that goblins came, so how do we know that they were goblins? What do we tell
Well, we
the judge?
fought them.
We did.
What I was thinking, my whole thing has been, we were drunk. We wanted to go to the grave. When we got to the grave,
They
there
don't
were
know.
goblins there, and they took the body out. The body was just how it was when the sheriff came up on us.
We
Then
fought them
said,
off.
So we
"Fuck
can,
you, goblins."
That's why the
we got
blood's
drunk.
there.
we
We
can
found them
point
all.
to the black goblin blood on the ground.
Yeah.
Also, did
That's
anyone
evidence.
use bladed weapons against the goblins?
I
We
used
shot the arm off.
I think he just broke the arm.
Yeah, because I have a warhammer, so just like,
It was
I thought he chopped his arm off.
You warhammered
he crumpled his arms.
I shot an arrow, and if I'm not mistaken, it missed. So that could be evidence somewhere in the woods. You know.
Oh, there's no blood?
Well, there's blood.
Someone's got to make them goblins out of that fight. Their head was
Did
in
someone
blood.
like slash someone or something?
I tried it.
I got
times.
stabbed.
Okay, you got stabbed. You got
Yeah,
stabbed.
I definitely
And I
got
tried
stabbed.
like twice and I missed, remember?
Oh, I had an arrow through my arm or some crap
Yeah,
like that. A knife through my arm, yeah. My bicep, yeah.
I feel like someone had to have stabbed one.
Well, shit. So then if that's true, then I got a big gash in my arm still. That doesn't heal. Right when we went to the bar,
I think
I pulled the dagger
used
out.
some healing stuff on yourself, but
I did.
it might
yeah,
be blood on your clothes. And you got
I've got
stabbed.
vomit all over me.
and blood.
And I was stabbed.
All right, we'll say that the goblins showed up. They were wearing.
No, they were there. We went
Yeah,
to the grave.
we'll
They
say that
were
they
there.
were one-eyed snakes, and that might pull some weight in terms of an explanation. They may know who those people are.
It went into so much detail. It's like, okay, they can't be making this up. It's blood.
But how would we remember all this if we were drunk?
We were drunk too. You could fight and drink and rubbish stuff.
That's true.
I fall. Simple.
One of us has to like speak.
Speaking of,
Someone's got to be the most sober and speak for everyone.
Well, I'm passed out according if we were still rolling with the story just to prove how drunk we are.
I think it should be Hornsby.
Should it be Hornsby?
I think it should be, yeah.
Not to double duty you.
Yeah,
to
but
make
you
talk
seem to be the one like
God, I
you
have
were
to, like-
pissed off. You were
he's the respected.
you were so pissed off though. You were like the one. You were like the DD pretty much of the group because you were trying to explain the story. But guys, it doesn't make sense. We're all trying to just come up with
And
these
I don't-
crazy stories.
I definitely don't think it should be Areolus because he threatened castration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. I just want to make a big Lebowski reference. Nice marmot.
All right. So the sheriff and 5 other deputies walk in as we have just finalized this plan that we just kind of went through with ourselves just now. And we all shut up and we hear Ari say under his breath, "Act really drunk." Where Jeff pukes. Ari,
Projectile.
did you say something? I can't remember.
Oh, he said, hey, I gotta go.
Oh, he actually did it.
What did you do?
I passed out
You
on
passed
the bench.
out. Mark exclaimed that he's from.
The
He
white-
passed out.
I was saying it's from the
We're in the
woods.
same. We're in the same cell, correct?
Yeah.
He passed out on the bed in a puddle of my vomit
I don't- You think I threw up?
to make it believable.
Okay, Dickie, what did you say, Dickie?
Pizza.
We're on that way.
All right, so we're taking another break. More pizza.
What's
Oh,
that?
no, I ate them already.
Oh, you paid it? Oh.
Oh, you did it correctly?
Yeah.
1 second.
We never used it before.
Sorry.
I really paid already.
Did you tip at least?
Oh, does he have to write that?
What? You have to sign or something.
He's gonna have to roll for initiative. No, I tipped him on these.
You better have.
It costs $40. There's no fucking way they cost $40.
Yeah, there's garlic knots in there.
What is it? Look at that. It's like a normal large size pizza. Oh. That costs $40?
38, whatever the fuck.
Papa John's, you suck dick.
Listen to that.
Oh.
official,
have got Little Caesars.
official pizza sucking dick. Not that that's a bad thing. Everyone's mother has had at least one penis in her mouth.
Alright, come grab pizza
Yes,
real
sir.
quick, boys.
What the fuck? I thought I ordered garlic knots.
Did you?
It smells good.
How strong?
Give the
Yeah, thanks for letting us take topics too.
They got hot sauces.
I'll take some ranch. Bad ranch.
Yeah, bro.
Want to do a little sales pitch for Meyer Buttermilk Ranch dressing?
From the Green Hills of California.
An official sponsor.
From the Green Hills of California come the ranch that you know you love. From back in Grandma's kitchen. You remember being a little kid? Do you remember playing with your ding dong and wondering what the hell was in Grandma's ranch that just tasted so good?
You're going down a dark path.
It permeated every memory of your childhood. And today, it's contained in Meyer brand buttermilk ranch dressing. It's got extra fat, just the way Mammy would have liked it. So enjoy with our compliments.
Oh, you mean condiments?
All right. And on that note, Sheriff walks in. We all play drunk. I yell, "I need to take a shit." And the sheriff just shakes his head. He says, "John, Clark, Bob, stay outside. Jim, little Bob, grab a chair and sit down. We're going to be here all night."
Okay, so that's Jim and Little Bob.
The biggest one's gotta be Little Bob.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
okay.
You guys are in your cells. Are you gonna talk to these guys, or are you just gonna be quiet? We got probably like 8 hours till I might see a judge. You gonna try to sleep?
I vomit one more time and then fall asleep.
Best roommate ever.
Well, boys, I still have to shit. I guess I'll be shitting in my sleep. Good night. And Abram sort of just lays down in the cell and tries to fall asleep.
Let's go, kids. We have a side note, and sorry, but everyone's you. Has anyone else here ever tried to sleep in prison, in jail? It's fucking horrible. And I'll leave it at that. With pubic hair on my face that wasn't mine. It was sick. I was so disgusted that I started cleaning up the cell. And me, of all people, was like, this is gross.
What color was it?
Concrete. What? The pubes? The pubes? They were pube colored.
Color of the cell.
It was gray. It was East Point, baby. East Point City Hotel.
Sometimes they make a change. They like calls people down there or something like that.
No, this was gray. Well, the floor was gray. The walls were white. Slept on the goddamn concrete floor.
I was waiting for you back.
This is when I came back from Africa. Like you had just got out of jail, and I was like, "Hey, Jeff, good to see you."
I cried. Not ashamed.
Oh, how drunk? Were you drunk or?
No.
Oh,
That was,
no.
It was right after legal dropped from 0.1 to 0.08, and I was 0.1.
The judge didn't have any
I got a slap on the wrist. I got a serious slap on the wrist for my shit. Well, because plus I cooperated with the cops, you know, and you know, they came to the hearing or sentencing, whatever it was, and they like said, yeah, he was very cooperative. We were surprised that he flew over. So I was on 911, or I was on the phone with 911 when the cops showed up, reporting that I was in an accident. So that probably helped.
Right.
Of course, I was trying to drive home. I told them that I would return to the scene of the crime once I got my car off the street. But you know,
How did you get in the accident? Was it because of the drinking, or?
I fell asleep. I was up for like 36 hours before that.
So it was like drunk driving, barely drunk driving.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't get a DUI, did you? You got like
No, yeah, it got reduced.
Did you get like an accident just on your own, or did you hit a car? Or?
Yeah, I fell asleep and I hit a car and knocked it across the street and through a fence. It was a brand new Chrysler 300, and thank God they didn't have insurance. Otherwise, I would have had to pay for that too.
Holy shit.
So I lucked out, but
I got a brand new car. And didn't insure. Nice. There you go, man.
you know,
Motown
Motown living, baby.
This
Motown.
episode is brought to you by Buttermilk Brandmeier and
Driving while impaired.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
That pizza looks so damn good.
Pretty good.
It is good, but for a $40 pizza, I don't know if it's that
Yeah.
good. That's crazy.
I'm gonna write a letter, man. There we go.
All right.
Oh, that's right. We're about to sleep too.
So everyone's sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we
Beer
just
vomit.
it's roughly 8:30, 8:45 in the morning, and you wake up to the sound of metal on metal, like a
No, boy.
someone rattling the jail cell bars. Oh, what happened? And you guys wake up, and the sheriff says, "Time to get up. Time to go see that judge." He opens the doors of your cells, and he leads you through the jailhouse, cross back into the white big hall, does a left, and goes towards a big door, which goes into a courtroom. Inside the courtroom, there are 2 more deputies that you haven't seen before. There is a scribe writing stuff down. There is a couple other people that just seem to be sitting there watching. There's a man in black and gold robes sitting at a desk, and he looks at you coming in. He's on the right side of you looking into the courthouse. On the left side, there's another man in black and gold robes, and he looks familiar, and it comes to you that that is Father Jacob.
Okay.
The sheriff walks you over to the desk, the table, and has the 5 of you sit down and says, "Boys, this is your lawyer, Father Jacob. He's also a lawyer, and he will be your lawyer. So good luck to you, and I hope that justice is properly served here, and we come to a conclusion of what actually happened." The sheriff then goes to the back of the courthouse. There's a bench. He sits down, and the judge bangs his gavel and says, "Order, order! Welcome to my court."
Was he an old-timey Southern judge?
I guess so. He's chewing on like a cigar, and he's wearing a white suit. And he's got a fan. He's fanning himself.
Playing with his suspenders.
Yeah,
Do the play, huh?
He's like,
I'll
he says, "I'm the Honorable Judge Hampton Smith, and I will be presiding today over this here legal matter of potential grave robbery." You see the scribe writing stuff down. And he says, "Prosecution, for you of those at home with legal information, I don't know how this is working, but here we go." Prosecution walks up to the judge and talks to him, a little sidebar, and then says, "All right, on the night of
Last night.
October, blah, 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 last night. These 5 men were found inside the grave of Henry Walden. Henry Walden's body, desecrated and removed from the grave, was on the grass next to the tombstone. I should add that his bandages, his wrappings, were open, and the coins placed by the grave digger were removed from his eyes. According to eyewitnesses, the sheriff, the grave digger, and the church warden, these were the men that were standing there. It is of the belief of the sheriff that these men may have robbed the grave of Henry Walden. Now, the sheriff also met these boys earlier. They specifically asked them where Henry Walden was being buried. He knows some of these men. He has seen them before interact with Henry Walden. So clearly there's a tie there. As well as the fact that, I don't know where I was going with this. Get out of my pizza, boy.
Sorry, it looks so good.
Henry Walden was recently murdered. That is at least what the court here has decided. It was, in fact, a murder by stabbing. So with that in mind, Judge, I would just say, I don't believe this is a matter of wrong place, wrong time. I believe these boys were robbing the grave of Henry Walden. And I believe that they also are the men that murdered Henry Walden. I rest. He sits down. Father Jacob, your lawyer, Father Jacob Esquire, looks at you and says, "Well, boys, looks like you got yourself in a little..." How's he talking? "Well, boys, it looks like you got yourself in some trouble here."
Protein.
Here I go. Judge, Honorable Judge Smith, can I take a moment here to talk to my clients? I didn't really get to talk to them at all. I just arrived today and was given this here trial by you. Judge says, okay. So, judge and the prosecution start talking to each other, and the priest walks over and says, "Boys, I saw you at the funeral. What do you have to say for yourself? I mean, what am I defending you here for? What's your story?"
What's that guy's name?
Abram.
Abram. I think we should tell him to talk to Abram.
Yeah, that wasn't Abram supposed to be saying it? Didn't we designate?
So you guys kind of look at each other and say, Abram, I think you need to say what happened.
As the leader of our group.
Abram takes his cap off and holds it to his heart and says, Father Jacob, you're a holy man, obviously. You were at the funeral, you presided over the funeral. We here also have, or I'm sorry, I keep doing Southern voice. We have 2 religious figures here today, Deku, a Zivlin cleric, and we have Ari, a Zivlin paladin. I will be honest with you, we got pretty drunk last night in the wall of our friend's death, and we came to the conclusion, and no offense to you, that he was not buried where he should have been buried. We believe that he should have been buried at the monument of Zivlin in Oric Vale. Now I know he's on a dwarf, and that's a little strange, but even you would say that he does have a pretty wide collection of books about dwarven architecture, and that's just where he wanted to be buried. I mean, that's what I think. That's what we think. He kind of looks at you all, and you're all are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
We were drunk.
Well, I mean, we were very, very drunk. I mean, David here, either in his drunkenness or his dismay of seeing his dead friend, I mean, he vomited on the body.
He's still drunk.
And then I vomited again.
Anyways, we showed up. We did not dig him up. We found him that way. It was goblins. Now you might be saying, goblins, how do we know it was goblins? Because we saw goblins. We saw them pick the body out of the grave, and we were so upset that we got in a fight, a scrap with these goblins, all right? And we beat them off, and they ran away. We're not sure if any of them died, but we defended our friend here because it looked like they were robbing the grave. I mean, his burial dressings were ripped open. I know he's supposed to be buried with coins. Those were gone. So we assume maybe they're trying to loot the body, at least get the coins off the eyes. He looks around at all of you again, and
Yeah, absolutely.
They were in a gang.
yes, Jeff, David. What game were they a part of again? I can't remember. You saw the vests.
One of the snakes, wasn't it?
One-eyed snakes. That yeah, that sounds right.
And they rode on great bats.
That's right. They're on bats.
That's what it says first.
We also saw them on their way out. They pissed and kicked over some other gravestone. I don't know what that was about, but that definitely happened. There may be blood in the field. We don't know. I can't really remember. Also, Jeff here has stab wounds. David has stab wounds. Kujat has stab wounds. Shows his arm.
My disguise kit.
And an arrow was loosed by David here, so there's an arrow out there somewhere. And yeah, so that's where we were, and we were in the process of trying to get the casket out of the ground so we could move Henry properly to where we thought he should go. And we were going to tell you, but we were a little drunk and we didn't really think about going to you first. So there it is. Yep. The priest looks at all of you and says, I just want to say that I'm a little shocked that two men of the cloth would dig up a body without talking to the church that he was buried at to take him somewhere else. But I'm not the judge here. I'm not the prosecution. So I will defend you with that story. Yeah.
We initially objected and then thought the cause was right.
Is there anything I need to know about going on beyond the story you're telling me?
We're really drunk.
We are good and noble men.
Yeah, and we're really sorry.
All right, I'll do my best, folks. All right, Your Honor, we're ready to begin. So, Judge Hampton Smith says, all right, well, all right. Defense, say your piece. And Father Jacob goes on to recount exactly what Abram Hornsby just said. And yes, as he is doing so, you hear the courthouse doors open, and you look behind you, and a large, hulking figure in dress robes that are ripped at all the seams pretty much, like the shoulders and some of the arms, and it's clearly too short for him, stands a half-orc man that you know as Rarg. And his hair is sort of slicked back, and he has a big, dumb, stupid-looking flower in his pocket, his robe's pocket, like lapel. The priest looks back and sees him and pays no attention and looks back. The judge says, do you have any witnesses here to prove that these men were in fact trying to remove this man from the grave and take him somewhere else? Because we still have the problem here of there is no evidence that they didn't steal the gold eyepieces, and potentially they murdered him. For what reasons, I do not know. The priest, Father Jacob, at that point says, at this time, we have no witnesses, Your Honor. Behind him, Rorg stands up and says, Your Honor, my name is Rorg, and I was with these boys last night, and I would like to testify as a witness on their behalf. Judge looks at Rorg and then looks at Father Jacob and says, Father Jacob Esquire, would you? This is highly out of order. You did not put this gentleman on the docket. I'm not running some blasphemous court here. I mean, come on. But I will permit you to let him say his piece.
It's unorthodox, but I'll allow it.
Father Jacob, kind of in bewilderment, looking around like this is the worst case he's ever had to represent in the little small town of Burnt Hollow where nothing goes awry ever. My crust. And he says, Mr. What was it? Rorg. Okay, Mr. Rorg what?
It's just Rorg.
Rorg Skull Cleaver. Okay.
Sword.
So yeah. So Judge, yes, Rorg Skull Cleaver. And Rorg takes the stand, and he says, okay, I mean, what do I say? The judge says, well, say your piece, boy. And Rorg says, all right, it's my understanding that these boys buried a friend last night. I witnessed that as me and some friends were having a small memorial in the graveyard at the time. Father Jacob can attest to that, as well as I believe the gravedigger. Father Jacob and the gravedigger both nod. We left before they did, and we went off to do some other ceremonial things that I will not get into.
Perfectly legal.
Perfectly legal. And we decided to go to the bar with our friends here. Or my friends. Upon arriving, we saw these gentlemen coming out of the bar, and they did have shovels and pickaxes. At this point, Abram Hornsby looks like, oh shit, the cat's out of the bag, we're going to be found guilty. Upon seeing them with some pickaxes and shovels, we asked them, what are you doing? And they had mentioned to us that they were going to exhume the body of their friend, Henry Walden, for the purposes of taking him to the holy site of the Auroch Vale.
Boy.
Because in their reasoning, the man needed to be buried in a more monumentous place. He loved dwarven architecture. It just made sense. So we let them on their way, and they went. I will say this. After seeing these men go there, about 30 minutes later, as we saw Sheriff Stonehand and the gravedigger, the church warden, running from the magistrate office to the tunnel of trees, we did see 3 bats flying away, presumably from where the graveyard was, heading north. I believe these to be gang members of the bat riding gang, the One-Eyed Snakes. I've seen them before, and they are no friends of half-orcs such as myself. They've personally gone after my business, as you may recall, on the outskirts of town where I have a small laundry. And the sheriff kind of nods. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yes, and you recall they stole all my soap. And then they smeared shit and piss into the clothes that were drying. The sheriff nods again and says, yeah, I remember that one. So Rourke says, that's all I got, and steps down and nods at the boys and sits back down in the pews behind them.
The prosecution doesn't counter. I'm just trying. I like
The
what
judge says, prosecution, what would you have to say to that? Well, Judge, I believe this man is being paid off by these gentlemen, or at least he is in league with them in some way. I mean, maybe he was the murderer of Henry Walden. Maybe they conspired together. I do not know. But at the end of the day, we don't have any proof other than one witness that we know that has a vendetta against goblins who attacked him. So maybe this is just a way for us to look elsewhere, and he's going to get the satisfaction of them being arrested or killed or whatever. So I just don't think that stands. And I don't think you will either, Judge. The judge looks at the defense and says, well, Father Jacob, I just did the voice for Father Jacob, what would you have to say to that? Father Jacob looks at the boys and says, I mean, how does he know this information? Was he with you in the jail cell?
No.
Okay.
We ran outside the bar.
Okay. So you're telling the truth. That's what I garnish here from this? Or?
Trust me, I'd smell an orange a mile away.
That's the whole truth.
All right, Judge. Well, these boys and Sheriff, you can.
And I pull on his shirt a little bit and I say, if they don't believe in, tell them we'll show them where the fight happened.
All right. Who was playing that racket music in the courthouse? Turn that off. Order. We'll have no dum-dums in here. Now, play the theme of Matlock, we'll have different stories. All right. Order. All right. Go ahead, Father Jacob. Father Jacob says, these boys met this gentleman, Mr. Rourke, Mr. Rourke, Skull Cleaver, outside the bar where they departed. The sheriff and the church warden and the grave digger found them at the grave. Now, can I bring up the church warden? I'm sorry now. Once again, you did not put this man on the docket. This is highly irregular. But I will allow. I'll allow it. The judge continues to chew on his unlit cigar. And the church warden sits down. The church warden says, I heard clanging. I saw some light, but the light went dim. And I knew someone must have been out there doing something not right. So I ran and I grabbed the grave digger. He suggested we go to the sheriff, and we got the sheriff. But I did not see anyone out there. All right, that's okay, thank you. So he sits down. Father Jacob then says, so clearly these boys met Rog outside of the, I'm just establishing a timeline here, met them outside the bar, departed them, were spotted but not identified in the graveyard, most likely fighting off some goblins, hence the clanging sounds, and defeated them. They ran off. Also, apparently there may be some blood, a loose arrow, maybe some artifacts left in the graveyard by the goblins here. Anyways, these boys, they did not do this, and I will leave it at that. The judge sits there.
Highly irregular.
Highly irregular, I must say. This is going to take some time, but I need to think this over. So court is adjourned for however long it's adjourned. All right, adjourned. Gets up, walks out. Boys are taken back to their cells and sit there waiting. Abram looks at them and says, I think we did the best. I think we did the best we could have done there. And somehow Rourke, I don't know how he got this information, like he knew everything. Fucking, I may have saved us here.
Listen, I think we're gonna make it through this, fellas. But the problem is, we're gonna owe Rourke something.
Well,
And I'm not eager to find out what that is.
Well, anything beats jail. We can always just kill him.
He must have been spying on us.
maybe, I don't know.
I just want to do some magic.
You can do the magic when we get out of jail.
Did I throw up last night? His father did my
You
back.
boys sit there and you're just talking amongst yourselves. Sheriff walks back in and he says, all right, boys, the judge has made a decision. Time to go back. You gentlemen go back, sit back down. The judge is looking at the five of you, spinning his eyes, and he says, well, like I said, this is highly irregular. Now, on one hand, we have a murdered man dug up, defiled, robbed of gold pieces on his eyes, and we have proof that those pieces were put there. He was also buried in accordance to the church. Now, you boys are saying that you did not murder him. You did not dig him up. You simply stumbled upon his body, fell into the grave, puked on him, and before all that, you fought off some goblins that you suspect may have stolen the gold or looked on his person.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Now,
We were mighty drunk.
I will say this.
Magic.
I've dealt with Mr. Rogue Skullcleaver a few times here. He is a upstanding citizen. Excuse me. Got some heartburn from smoking too many cigars. And he says, where am I going? All right, I'm beginning to speak highly irregular. I apologize. Mr. Skullcleaver runs a legitimate business, has never been a nuisance. Now, we have had problems with a gang called the One-Eyed Snakes. Now, I do believe that you boys aren't really from around here and might not know about that gang until last night. So that adds up.
Plus, we were out of town all years ago.
And you were maybe out of town, maybe. I don't know if that's true. There's no way for me to verify that. Now, Rogue said he saw bats riding off, and they were goblins. Also, your defense attorney, Father Jacob Esquire, did say that you had no contact with Rogue after things transpired, but you did tell him that you were going to dig up his grave, but for the same reasons you told me. So this is how I find you. I find you men to not be of good moral standing. You were going to dig up the grave of your fallen friends. And for that reason, I do not understand, being that you are two men on a cloth. That is highly irregular. But I do believe you had a scuffle with goblins. You have the wounds to prove it. And I'm sure that later we could probably find some blood and a loose arrow in the graveyard. We also are missing the 2 pieces of gold from Harry Walden's eyes that were placed there. Now, you gentlemen did have gold on you found by the sheriff. Do you remember how much gold was in your satchel? Mr. Blaine.
Yes.
And how much gold was there?
Is this like
Yeah, you can look at that.
everything
Yeah.
collected? Well, because I already know that I took the 25
You
from
can
the
just make
goblin.
a fake
They took
inventory.
everything off your person. Yeah, so
But you can make a fake
gold.
inventory right now. You don't have to give me any specific numbers. But if you,
Well, I do know exactly what
tell
it
me,
was.
tell me
But I'm
exactly what you have.
well, I'm trying to find where my gold pool. I
Or
forget
a
what
scrap
they-
piece of paper.
Yeah, I thought I had stuff to begin with too. You know, didn't we all start with a certain
Should be
amount?
in that box.
Okay, okay, so yeah, started with 15. I took the 25. That's what, 40. And 2. So I had 42 gold pieces.
You had 42 gold pieces in your purse. He looks at one of the bailiffs, and the bailiff nods and says, well, that is correct. I cannot say that any of that gold came off the body, so I believe you. Once again, this is highly, highly irregular. But I do believe you boys are innocent. Now, can you tell us any information about these goblins that you had a scrap with?
They were on bats. Big bats. Like the size of fucking bears, man.
Okay.
We had to defend
Yeah.
ourselves.
You have any names of these here goblins you did battle with? Or what they may look like?
One of them has a broken arm.
Okay, one of them has a broken arm.
Dead.
Well, even
It was-
if it is,
it was-
though.
Babe,
We
Tom,
killed one of them.
Tom. Sorry, cat attack here.
I don't remember their names.
Snot was the one that was killed. Jackal was put to sleep, and Rast was charmed.
Their names are Snot, Jackal, and Rast. We killed Snot. He died quickly.
So you killed a goblin.
Yes.
Because
All
our
right.
life was threatened here.
Now we don't have any problems killing goblins around these parts.
Oh, okay.
It was
You get
self-defense in the name of the law.
I say something so bad
That's
that we're
right.
live, and
I know where you're going, but you can't do it.
it would have been funny.
We do not like goblins in these parts at all.
Stand your ground.
Word.
Are we in the southern part of this world?
you are a little
That's
bit. You're
yeah.
like down here. Yeah. All right. So one boy was killed. I hear. What about the other two?
They ran off into the night after our defense.
Ran off into the night. It will flow off into the night. Mr. Rourke, if I may, do you know these men by name? Rourke stands up and he says, yes, I do, Your Honor. Rast is the president of the One-Eyed Snakes.
Oh, fuck.
Snot is I believe he was the treasurer of the One-Eyed Snakes. Makes sense that he'd be looking for more treasure in the graveyard. And Jackal is the secretary. And I do believe that the vice president's such an asshole that they don't affiliate themselves with him in public. That may have been why there was only 3 of them. Abram kind of looks at you 3, remembering that that's exactly who these people were.
And that's who, what's his name, was after.
Yeah, what's his name?
Big fucker.
Rast? Rard?
Yeah, in the first place.
Yeah, because they fucked up his laundry, so he knows there. So Abram's kind of looking around there. All you guys are kind of nodding. Yeah. Once again, Father Jacob's just like, I don't know what I got myself into. Judge says, all right, well, here's my ruling. Boys, don't dig up any more of your friends in our town of Burnt Hollow.
Okay.
Number 2, if you see more goblins, kill them. I ain't got a problem with that. Nothing better than a dead goblin. And 3, this is the biggest waste of my time ever, so just go home. All right, get out of here. Court dismissed. Woo!
Thank you, sir. The name of the church?
And now because of double jeopardy rules, that's it. I was like, yeah, that's right, we did it.
Let's go to the bar.
All right. Mark, you think you can do like 30 more minutes?
Like 15 or so. I gotta pack up, but like
Abram wipes his brow. He's been sweating.
We've been given our stuff back. Right?
You got your stuff back from the sheriff. The sheriff says, "Boys, I recommend you get out of these parts for a while. If what you said is true and you didn't just fool that judge, probably gonna have some goblins looking for you. And I don't know that we're gonna be able to protect you from the one-eyed snakes."
Namely, Rard.
No, the Rard's on your side. Rard helps you out.
Yeah, but wasn't
He's a half-orc.
right. Right.
These goblins may be after you if you truly kill one of the boys. And last time I checked, the numbers are in a few hundreds or something. You guys recall that Rast said there were about like 300 or 500 of these guys, and that his uncle, the Goblin King of Serpent Tower and the Serpent Cult, has even more goblins. You boys sort of look at each other, and Abram says, "For sure, Sheriff, we will definitely be making our way out of the town right quick. Question for you: is the bakery open?" It's kind of a weird town. It's Monday, should be open, but they don't open till 10. I don't know why. So we got like 30 minutes, and they're open. Okay, well, thank you. I think we're just gonna get some provisions for the road, and then we'll be on our way. So thank you again. Sorry for the inconvenience. Was our friend buried properly? And the sheriff says, yes, he was. If you are gonna remove him, I believe you need to talk to Father Jacob about that. Hornsby says, we've talked it over. We were clearly drunk. We made a bad decision. We talked to Father Jacob. He says this is where I'm going to be buried. So I think we'll leave him here and let him lay in peace. Anyways, thanks again. Have a great day, and we'll be on our way. Abram then says, come on. And gets you boys to follow him out
As a point of order, I'm sorry. Is there like an orphanage or a poorhouse in this village?
Is there what?
Is like an orphanage or a poorhouse? Okay.
You made that up, though. But the one orphanage, it didn't exist.
Oh, well, I thought it did.
No.
I thought it did.
Well, your
In the
hometown,
grid.
right? Your
Yeah.
hometown,
maybe
right?
it does.
Yeah. See, the reason I asked, point of order, is because, I'm chaotic good. I was going to give those 2 gold pieces to the sheriff and say, give these to the homeless. But since they don't have an orphanage or a homeless shelter, fuck them on pieces.
Why do you want to know if there's an orphanage or not?
Well, I was asking you as the DM.
Oh, okay.
We can just give them to 2 beggars as you walk by. If you see 2 beggars, flip them both beggars. They're like,
Yeah. There's not so much beggars in this town.
we'll go to the bar.
Guess well, I guess
There's someone at the bar, right?
Okay. Abram says, boys, let's go. We need to get up, we need to get a little. Abram then leads you over to the bakery, which happens to be next to Walden Books, and he says, very loudly, looking around, seeing if there's anyone, "Oh, looks like they're not open yet. I guess we'll just have to wait here. Oh, what's that next to the wall over there?" And he walks into the alleyway between the 2 buildings. You boys follow. And he says,
This motherfucker about to break into the goddamn bakery.
He says, all right. We need to do this quick. We get done quick. I know you boys have books in here that you're ordering, you paid for them. That doesn't matter. You can have all the books in the world, whenever you want, once we get the gold. And you can buy as many books as you want. Okay? We're going to go in there. We're not going to look for the books. We're going to open the trap door. That's secret. We're going to grab the book with the map for the King's Tomb, and we're going to hightail the fuck out of this town. Alright?
He worked there also, correct?
Yes.
So it's not like we're breaking into this building.
Correct.
He knows how to get in.
He knows.
But
Okay.
he doesn't necessarily want people to know that you're going in.
Okay.
He says,
Sure.
now the bakery is not open yet. There is a baker in there. I know he's got bread ovens open. Just keep that in mind. Just follow my lead. I know what I'm doing. All right. He makes his way to the back of the building, and there is a door. He pulls out a key, and he opens the door. And he goes in. He just
To the bakery or to the
to
bookstore?
the bookstore.
Okay.
You boys follow. He shuts the door, and he pulls down a shade over the window of the back door. Now, the front of this building is just glass windows, so you can see straight in. You'd be able to see these guys. It is still, the sun. The way the sun is, you can't really see into the building just yet. He says, "I'm standing back up against the wall, so no one sees you." He's like, "What you're about to see is some crazy stuff that me and Henry were involved in. It's magical. Don't freak out.
I want to do some magic.
There's gonna be some illusionary magic going on. Just contain yourselves. Don't make a lot of noises." Henry then, kind of looking around, like near the windows, doesn't see anybody. He doesn't see anybody. He walks to the middle of the room that you're in, and to the front of the room where the counter is. Beyond that, there's shelves and shelves and shelves upon books. The place is destroyed. There are shelves knocked over, books stripped off the walls. Register is open. The shelves behind it are thrown.
Is there money in the register?
There is some money in the register, but he did tell you to stay up against the thing. Also, the sheriff made it aware that there was money left in the register, so they may have like counted how much was left there. Right now, it's like a crime scene still.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Abram, looking at the front, doesn't see anyone. Takes the brass mamushka, or if I can call it. He unscrews it, and he pours out that
Candle.
piece of wax. It just looks like a cylinder of wax, like string cheese or something, but small. He then takes his knife, and you notice that on one end of the wax there is a red dot, and on the other end there is a blue dot. He points the blue dot.
Which do you choose?
Is this a reference to Mist? No.
I just made this all up. He points the blue dot upwards. He takes his knife and he cuts some of the wax off. Under that small bit of wax, there was a wick, and he kind of twists the wick up. He then flips it again, cuts the top of the wax off. There's another wick on the red side. He flips it up, so the blue side is up, and you see him like this, and the wick.
This is a Zippo trick?
He's magic.
Oh.
He casts a cantrip, and he lights the wick of the candle. He lets it burn there for a moment. And this is a small candle. It's like the size of like a chapstick tube. And you see him turn the candle, and it just starts to endlessly pour wax out. And it's blue-colored wax. The candle, though, is white. And there's no way this little candle could hold that much wax. He begins to make, he's walking, he begins to make a large circle on the wooden floor with this poured out wax. Some freaky shit. He then makes 2 rectangles with teardrops above them and rays coming out, and he puts some ancient looking symbols around this big circle that he's made. Okay? At this point, there starts to be this blue kind of ember looking things coming off of the ground, and it's emitting light. And you hear him whisper, and he looks over to the windows, and you see this blue come down the windows, and for a second there's like a small bright flash, and then it just looks normal again. And he says, what I just did is anyone looking in those windows will see nothing but this room. You're concealed, but we're only concealed for about 30 minutes. What he then does is he takes this small candle, he blows out the blue lines. He turns it upside down.
He's burning this candle at both ends.
And he he lights the red side of the candle. Okay. What he then does is red wax starts to pour out. Okay. And he puts it right in the middle of this interesting symbol thing that he just drew. Okay. Pours a clump of red wax, and what he does is he takes the candle and he places it in the wax hardens. And then he stands back. You start to see blue and red light with these kind of embery, shimmering things moving up. And then you start to see a scene forming in the wood. Okay? You then see two holes appear in the middle of the wood where the two candle lights are in the symbol he drew. He then blows out the candle, picks it up, goes like this on the ends. Somehow they are now magically just all white again. You don't see any wicks. Puts it in the tube. He sticks his fingers, thumb and forefinger, into the two holes.
Now it's getting dirty.
And he pulls up what looks to be almost like a barrel top.
Okay.
With a symbol on it. Throws it to the side. Says, boys, you got, what, 27 minutes? We're going down here. Don't be alarmed. It's just another secret room full of books. Or a room full of books. You boys go down.
No, why would we be alarmed? Fuck.
You walk into this room, and it's about the size of the room that we're in now. And it's
That's a nice thing.
it's shelves and shelves and shelves on the walls. In the middle, there's like a podium type of thing. And there's a big golden book. Okay, with jewels all over it. It's in like a metal bookcase.
All right,
Have you ever seen like a
loose?
you ever seen like a religious, like a old Orthodox or Catholic like manuscript with a golden like a case on the book?
You know?
The cover, it looks like that.
It's like my diary.
Mark or
Yes.
Deku, you're looking around and you're seeing like books and magic books and medicine books and just rare books because that's kind of what you do as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like looking around, you're going, holy shit! You're seeing like classic like epics. You're seeing books on magic you've never seen
Iliad.
before.
That
Things
we
like
probably
that.
destroyed eons ago.
Yeah, and you're just
Yeah,
in wonder of like, what is this place?
Right.
Do you have anything you want to say or ask or?
Say,
What is this?
many of these books have been seen for hundreds of years. Some of them are of, lost arts and magic.
That would be correct. Boys, me and Henry Walden belonged to an order long ago called the Order of Light.
Oh, don't tell me you're a fucking Masons.
I don't know what a Mason is. Let's refer to the stonemasons. But real quick here, Henry and I were essentially the librarians of this order. This order existed to keep things in balance in the world. They're slightly secretive, but there is massive influence in the Five Kingdoms. Anyways, our experience as librarians made us aware of books that existed in the world that were not being used by anyone, so we went and we got them. We sold some, and we kept the ones we thought should not be sold and maybe kept for ourselves. We found this book, 3 Points to the Golden Book, a month or two ago. And I can read it, not that great, but inside, as I told you, are the plans of building a great treasure hall of the King of Goldarok. That's where the mountain collapsed, as I told you, on that treasure trove, and the gold is there to make kings out of 1,000 men. This book has the map. This book will allow us to get in there, even with it being collapsed upon. There has to be some type of shaft of something that we can get into.
Okay.
Secret passages.
Okay, time out. What does the book look like compared to the other books?
I mean, this thing is like covered in gold, bejeweled the fuck out. Like, this is, okay, for someone that knows jewelry and like goldsmithing and silversmithing and gem cutting of stones as a dwarf, you know that this thing was made by dwarves, and it's like the most beautiful book you've ever seen in your life. Like, it's over
You can probably
the top.
read it also.
Well, it's ancient dwarven, so he doesn't know.
Can I, looking around the room, is there anything that might be, like maybe somebody scribbled some graffiti on one of the books and thieves can't?
You do see one book that looks pretty plain. It's just a leather black bound book, and the words on the cover says, "The black cat jumps over the yellow jug." To everyone else, that makes no sense. It's a book about a black cat jumping over the yellow jug. Well, in Thieves' Cant, you take that to be tips and tricks of the best thieves in the world.
Ah, code shit. But we don't know that.
As written by
No.
Master Thief. This is like
Great
famous
book.
thief.
Barack Obama, because he stole that election. No, that's a joke. I didn't vote for him, but I like the guy. The Master Thief.
You come up with a name. It's the best. It's the best thief in the world, and you know what? This is the guy. His name was the Black Cat.
Marco Raines.
And
Alex Trebek.
Alright, so who's the best thief of all time?
Best thief.
I'm thinking.
Bonnie.
Do you mind if I make a terrible baseball reference?
Yeah, because we're all gonna get it.
Well, Tyrus Cobb. He still leads and steals.
So,
Tyrus.
so you know it's Ty Cobb, the Black Cat.
Tyrus.
Tyrus Raymond.
You make the connection. You didn't know this book even existed. And Henry Walden or Abrams sees you looking at this book, and he says, "If there's anything here now that you want, you better take it, because we don't have much time." You all of a sudden hear a sound upstairs. Yes. It sounds like someone is trying to open a doorknob.
Is someone sneaking in?
Abram looks at you and says, "I can't see the one here, so stick your head up."
I refuse to, but I do take the book.
Okay, so he takes the book.
What was the name of it again?
God damn it, you won't give him grave now, like now you people won't look. Abram walks up the kind of ladder stairs, and he just pokes his head up, and he goes, "Oh shit!" And I don't know, did you hear that at all, Mark?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He says, Does anyone know who this is?
I'm trying to help you, but I'm so short. I'm just jumping, and I'm not tall enough.
All right, so I get out of the way,
They'll see me.
and JJ, you walk up and you look out the front window, and you see a figure that's about 6 feet tall, a blackish gray cloak. There's a sword that is black and silver with a big black stone in the hilt, in a belt, and it's a hooded figure with a cloak. You can't make out any face. It's just black.
Okay.
You want to say
Who is
anything
it?
or do anything?
What do you see?
So I asked Abram, like I described the situation to Abram. I said, "Who the fuck is that?" In a whispered voice.
I don't know. Hey, does anyone? I don't know who that is. We need to get the fuck out of here.
How long did we
As-
stay here?
as he-
I thought you said, Abram, excuse me, but I thought you said that we were good for 30 minutes here.
Well, he can't see in. I don't believe he shouldn't be able to see in. Doesn't mean that he can't just break in right now.
All right, let's get what we need.
That
to
may
get
be
out
the
of here.
man that killed Henry. I don't know who that is. He might be after this book too. He gets super nervous and he runs over to the podium and he says, "We need to go." He then shoots flame out of his hand, and you guys are standing near the stair ladder. Jeff grabbed one book. The rest of you didn't do anything else.
No.
Abram
Somebody bothered to grab the
shoots.
golden book.
I thought this is what you grabbed.
No, I grabbed the book that was written.
The
in
cat
ink.
over the yellow jug.
Abram shoots a horizontal arc of flame. And this room that you're in is ablaze. And he says, "Out the back door right now." Shoots up the stairs and starts running.
Somebody grabbed the damn book on the way out.
You boys, what book? He grabbed the
Oh, he grabbed
He
the
grabbed a book.
Okay,
Everything
you
else,
say you grabbed
everything
fire.
else is on fucking fire. Like you can't even grab
Yeah,
it.
I'm
You
gonna
guys
finish this out.
are feeling the
It's a
heat.
fire sale.
You're feeling the heat of this fire in this room. What do you do?
Follow him out.
I got my book. I'm out.
Run for the ladder.
All right. You see Abram run up in front of you, and you guys begin to run up the ladder, and you see Abram get to the back door and turn, and you look to the front window too, and that figure is gone. That JJ said you saw. Abram's eyes are wider than they even were before. And he's like, "We need to go now." And opens the door, looks both ways, and runs down the alleyway behind the bakery and just sprints. What do you guys do?
Well, first, since the guy's gone, I find my book on architecture.
This
Or it was.
This place is on.
I thought you lit the basement on fire.
It's gone through the floorboards, the entire place.
Dang, that went up quick.
This is like-
gasoline.
Well, it's a dry.
It's like a bookstore
paper.
/ kerosene factory.
It just
This was national fun.
So I'm getting the hell out of there. I'm running right behind you.
All right. Anyone
Right down the
else
alley.
doing anything different, or what are you doing?
I'm thinking to myself, why didn't this fucker help us before? If he could just torch the whole place at the wink of an eye, why couldn't he just bust us out of that jail?
Okay, so you're thinking that.
But in the meantime, the building's burning around you.
Well, and I'm going along just out of pure survival.
Oh, so
Like-
you're hightailing also?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So the store's, the whole place is gonna go up in flame, right?
It's like
Yeah, apparently it's already up.
the rafters are starting to come down. Like it's bad.
All right.
It's-
Well, how
Like
quick?
backtrack.
Like which? Where in relation to the exit am I and the cash register?
I
Is it on the way
There's
past?
a wall of flame, but you can try to go to it, but you're gonna have to roll some dice.
Take some hit points.
I can't just like run behind that.
There's a flame between you and the counter. It's about 5 feet tall.
How tall am I? Can I jump it?
The rafters are starting to fall down.
I'm 6 foot. I got a good foot on that flame.
It's up to you. You want to roll a your acrobatics?
Just high jumping.
You're good luck.
I mean, if you fail, you might fall in the flame and die or something.
It's for the kids.
I'm doing it for the kids. Abram turns and sees you contemplating something and says, "Let's go. What are you doing?" You guys can interact too.
What are you waiting for, David? You got your book.
Interact, boy. Interact.
I'm like deep in thought. I'm looking back and forth between them and the cash register.
Abram looks straight in your eyes and says, "Die by fire or die by whatever the hell that figure was out there. That's on you, and you don't get any gold from this adventure. I'm leaving." And
You're about to be David Bacon in a second.
he is gone.
And nobody's around you. You're just alone in the fire building, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he just told you
We all ran out.
pennies in the register or riches in the mountain, like, or you die.
Going after.
Are you willing to die for the pennies?
I've run out of the fucking building.
Mark, what do you do?
But we're going after. Plus to save ourselves.
What? I just want to get like a perspective of what you believe, because you're like you're someone who like loves magic and medicine and rare books, and you're watching this entire place just burn around you. What do you?
So he's
How do I feel about that? I had water, but it's stuck with my spell.
But would it work against
How do you feel about that?
I think I can work against fire, right?
Okay, so he's upset that they couldn't save everything, and he's wondering how they came to have so many old books and texts. So it's a bit of he's sad and he's confused about how they had this and then how it was gone so quickly. But he's going to pursue to escape and then to learn more.
I think that's reasonable for all of us, actually. We all wanted to go.
I mean,
to
this is happening with them, like
Right.
the seeing of the man, the lighting of all the books, the running out, looking at you and saying, "What are you waiting for? Are you really going to risk it for a few pennies?" And then saying, basically like, "Good luck with that. See ya," and then running. That's like maybe 30, 45 seconds tops. All this happening. So it makes sense that you guys aren't like really processing this very well. Like you don't have time. It's like holy shit. So you guys run out, and you instantly catch up to Abram. He's shorter than you, the old man. And he says, "We need to make it to the road. We need to avoid the main street. If we are ever asked about this," he's like, "you say that the bakery caught fire and it lit that on fire. Right?" You guys hear that and do whatever you want, but
I don't respond either way.
now, John, you recall that you had parked your friend's oxen cart
I
outside
said that. Yeah.
outside the courthouse.
Yeah. That's it.
Do you say anything? Do you do anything? He's just hightailing it towards the trees, the forest that like the
I'm
forest
so
road.
sick of this town. You guys can come with me on my car. We'll go take my oxen to the tower.
And I respond, "Get to the chopper!"
Do it now.
We don't have time for that. You go into the street, we'll be spotted. This is fucked out. Leave the oxen cart. We can buy 1,000,000 oxen. Run, 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 run. And he, for a little old man that was running pretty quick, he starts to go even quicker.
I don't know if I trust this motherfucker.
No.
I am on a quest for meaning, so I'm abandoning.
I want to know why we need to get out of this town so quickly.
Well,
Well, we did
he
just
thinks
kind of set the place on fire.
No witnesses,
Well,
though,
He
right?
said that he thinks that maybe the person that, I mean, you just saw, okay, let me describe it better. JJ saw, and you can tell people what you saw as you're running if you want. But what you saw was, think like a ring wraith.
Like a shadowy figure with the
With
sword
a
and all that.
cloak, a giant sword. It sort of has this weird, eerie, like sway
So it was
to it.
okay. So it was not human-like. It was a human form, but there was something.
Well, it just looked like if you put
something metaphysical. Something.
You put like a hanger with a rod through it, and put a cloak on it that also had a sword, but then you also saw like a glove on the hilt of the sword. Just a glove. And there's armor, but there's like a space here that this glove doesn't attach to anything, and there's an elbow.
Okay, so
Motherfucking invisible man.
so it was enough to be like
Like it spooked you.
frightening.
Like you're like, what the? You never seen anything like that.
So Eric,
You could see the back of the inside of the hood of the cloak.
Wouldn't an oxen and cart be faster than running?
He doesn't.
Maybe,
He's saying
maybe
that
distance.
he doesn't want to.
but
You just go, yeah! And that
He
thing goes.
doesn't want to run back onto Main Street where that figure was. He doesn't want anyone seeing you guys as a building goes ablaze behind you.
All right, well,
And
as a nature lover, I'm not leaving my ox, so I'm going to split up from you guys and go after my Bessie.
but the ox is fucking slow. It is
I'm
not.
not leaving behind.
my ox.
You know
That's
what?
my responsibility.
Okay, wait.
I'm compelled to follow
To go to the ox?
because we didn't do. Yeah, it's weird, but we didn't do any of this fucking spectral thing. You know, I didn't see it, or at least when you were describing it, I didn't hear you.
Mark, what are you thinking, or what are you doing?
Well, we're gonna follow. I think I guess gonna follow.
Abram or these guys?
But well, he's compelled.
See, I'm still sorry to interrupt you. I'm still
Oh, no.
thinking about going to the cart because it could be fucking useful.
Okay, hang on. I got something. I'm so frightened by the ring wraith, or like whatever the fuck, and I realize that we're all friends and we're all in this together, and I see that you guys are being tempted to go to the oxen. I get off one of my because remember I'm a warrior, right? I get off one of my javelins and I just throw it and kill the ox to make you guys come with me.
It's down by the courthouse, though.
We're like
how
running
far and
behind
what angle do you
businesses.
throw it?
Right.
Alleyways that we
So,
passed.
that's the DM. How far away from the ox cart? Is it within the throw? Because I'm just
Guys-
so like obsessed with I'm so fucking bloody frightened about this, and I know
You guys are just about to get past the middle of the street where the white courthouse is. You can see it from behind how it looks. And the oxen is not visible. You'd have to run down like 75 to 100 feet of alleyway to get to the oxen. Now, here's the thing. If you run down this alleyway, by the time that you even get to the oxen that's turned up, these guys are going to be like up here. By the time you undo the oxen, get on the oxen, everyone's in the cart, they're probably like out here. And this thing moves slower than Abram running.
But I mean, we also know where he's going, or
Do
a
you?
direction.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know where I parked my ox,
Do
right?
you know where Abram is going?
Well, yeah, because he said he's going to the.
And it's not like
Yeah.
you're not going to catch up to him in the cart.
Do you know how quick he's going to get there? Do you,
I'd love to see this old man outrun an ox. I would just love to see that.
I'm trying to convince you as a DM that should do it. So you guys choose what you're going
Those
to do.
gold shoes could like give you super speed.
That's what I'm guessing. It's
Sonic
gotta
the
be
Hedgehog.
something with those.
Yeah, let me just.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing with the shoes. He's just like terrified.
He's an elderly
shoes.
man.
He is
Mark
terrified for his life and he's running. You can
You
tell
picture
that.
like Gandalf sprinting? I can't.
Well, listen, that's just the thing. Look, the old man is sprinting like crazy, and we've all already trusted him. Okay, and number two,
I have never trusted him.
well, you went with the group all this time.
Yeah, but I've also kept my distance and fucking been deceitful as a motherfucker.
My guy is stubborn and nature takes over everything.
Let me
Leave
point out
behind
too,
my animal.
we did see a man who's all about books, like loves books. He has tons of books in a satchel. He's carrying books constantly. He grabbed one book and set all these other rare books with all this information.
So that's inspired.
And rarity, he just set them ablaze because he needed to get the fuck out of there. He didn't want to leave any trace of them being there.
Question: I forgot everybody's age. Am I older than everybody?
I'm 45. You're like a pretty.
You're
I
not
think I'm
gonna-
the oldest.
You're like a 25-year-old dwarf, essentially, like in terms of how you look.
What did you say?
My guy's very old. He's 100 years old. He's 900.
But you're an elf, so you can move pretty quick, even though you're old. You're not like crotchety. Or anything.
The reason I asked was think about there's this old, I guess I'm not really old, like an old paladin who's scared out of his fucking wits and running away. Shouldn't that inspire you guys to come with?
Right.
That's where I was going. I don't know.
Right. No, it does. No, also my guy is actually stubborn by nature and doesn't believe in religion or anything like that. He believes in only in the power of nature and all that stuff like that. So leaving behind my animal seems very anti-charistic, you know.
Abram's gonna turn around and he's like in shock that you guys aren't staying up with him.
Well, I mean, I'm still following.
Right.
Right.
And we're at the crux right now. We're about to split up.
He
Dude,
hears,
I know where
he
you guys
hears
are
you
going.
say, you said something about the ox.
Yeah.
You said, Bessie, my ox.
I said we can all go in my ox is down the street here. We can all get in and we can go.
There.
It's a friend. Yeah. But it's an animal.
And there.
Turn around and say, nothing bad is going to happen to your fucking ox. We need to get out of here. Otherwise, you run the risk of the ox being killed as we get in it. And then he says, I can't believe I'm doing this. And he just runs. And you see him, he's hugging the sides of these, or the backs of these buildings, and he's almost to the point where he's gonna be like, he's gonna cut, go onto the road, and you're not gonna see him because you guys did kind of go back around, and you're past the courthouse now.
Right.
So decision
But
time.
we won't catch up to
Make
him then.
decisions now.
He can outrun an ox that long, like in miles.
An ox is a draft animal. Like they don't move quick.
They move slow as shit, dude.
Well, yeah, but they also have
The
stamina.
Yeah.
The speed of you slowly walking is about how fast an ox goes.
It's like an elderly person versus an ox.
The fast moving elderly person.
Apparently, the golden shoes.
The golden pumas, man.
I think I should go. I think that's what this.
I need like a timer because like I'm gonna need a timer.
I'm gonna keep following
I
homeboy.
think you guys are thinking you're thinking too much. You need to like
All right, I'll follow you. I'll follow you. Fuck the ox.
clear.
Do we want to make it now, or I got to go pretty soon? So do we want to make a decision now, or
You got 25 seconds. Let's go for the
Hi,
side.
Steve.
I'm following the ass or the old man.
Okay.
Can I come in? Hey, put your card keys really quick, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, bro.
So where are we going?
I'm coming along. I'm scared like shit.
Okay. You got 25 seconds.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay, Mark.
we're gonna follow? We're gonna follow along, Henry.
Fast
I feel
moving
like I was a
guy.
shitty DM. So I'm like, you do this, but you could decide either way. But okay, so you guys catch up to him. He is running now onto the road, the trees, and he's looking back and he sees you, and he's shaking his head still, but he's still running like pretty damn.
Are we on the
quick.
main street though?
No, main road.
Doesn't that look suspicious that we're running as the building's burning?
It's you're far away from it now. You're like a
Oh,
quarter
okay.
mile away maybe, and there's not really anyone like looking at you guys. There's people in the streets, and they're running towards the burning bookstore now.
Question: do I have a hard time keeping up? I'm going so fast. I'm just a short dwarf.
But you're like a battle.
I'd put you on my shoulder.
You're pretty stout and able to run well.
Seems like a little like a weird dog.
I mean, you guys could outrun this old man. He's just running like you're kind of surprised with how quick he is moving. And he's
But
so
you can't
there's
I'm sorry.
It's just
over the line.
I'm just trying. I'm trying there. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna wrap this up. Anyways, you guys,
Follow him.
you've run now for like a mile. You've run a quarter through the town and 3/4 into this wooded road that you came in on in full armor. And you catch up, and you see Abram starts to get incredibly winded, and he trips and falls and drops the golden book. And you see him get up and kind of stumble over and pick it up, and then looks behind at you guys. And he's kind of staggering, and he's panting really hard. And he runs to the side of the road, and there's like a bit of a ditch, and he kind of sits down, slides into the ditch, and just lays there holding the book in hand. What do you guys do?
I'm still extremely frightened at this thing that I saw, that we both saw, and I demand that he tell me what the fuck that was, because I've never seen anything like that before, and I wonder if it's one of the old things that I heard about from the olden time.
I demand an explanation. I'm curious.
That your ox is.
What do you say? I left my ox behind.
What do you say?
Alright. You better talk, old man, because that ox was a friend of mine and is the creature of nature, and to leave him behind with nobody and nothing, you better have a damn good reason why you ran.
All right. Once again, the oxen was left in front of the sheriff's office. It's going to get taken care of. someone's gonna say those boys left the ox. They're gonna take care of it. The first person who's gonna think that is the sheriff who saw us come in on that ox.
You don't know that. Answer the question. Why are we running?
What do you understand about? My friend was murdered a month after finding a secret book with a map to the golden treasure for 1,000, like the wealth of 1,000 kings. You are now included on it. I told you a million times that we're keeping this a secret. We've been attacked. We had to stand trial in front of a judge and prove that we had nothing to do with this to get their tail or to get our tail off of us. And you want to go in the middle of the street in front of the magistrate building as a building burns that we were just near and potentially risk being questioned again. On top of that, there's a figure, a ghost-like figure in a cloak outside the building that we are currently in, staring in.
How do I know it wasn't just some random person out there? I didn't see it.
I open up and I say, listen, I have seen shit that will turn you white.
And me being a hermit, I haven't seen shit.
I saw with my own eyes, and I'm completely flustered. Like, I still have adrenaline pumping. Like, we're all
Describe to them what you saw in your voice.
What I saw was something not of this world. Listen, I done some terrible things. I seen some terrible things. What man can, what things do to other things. I never saw anything so unholy in my life. I could see through it. I don't know what to describe, but it was there, but it wasn't there. I could see right through the fucker.
But at the same time, you did see like clothing. But there was not.
Of course, I saw clothing.
There wasn't a body in the clothing.
It was a thing. You want me to describe it? It was a big thing. Like, it was on a hanger and it was hanging and blah blah blah. And it had the sword, you know.
Giving you context.
Yeah. But I'm fucking frustrated because I never saw anything like this in my life, and I felt cold when I saw him. I felt completely fucking cold. I wouldn't feel like I couldn't do anything. I felt like I could still be active, but I felt like I was almost dying. I was almost approaching death. I was so cold.
Abram looks at you and goes, "Is that a good enough explanation to leave an ox in the hands of a sheriff?"
And then I
That's
look
what's gonna
and
happen.
I see both, like, the fear in both you guys' eyes, like, yeah,
Oh wait,
really saw
I pissed
something.
myself just now. I pissed myself.
And there's wetness running down your legs. I noticed.
As you guys stand there in the road, four abreast, Abram hunkered down in the ditch with the book in his hand.
And my heart racing next to
You guys are racing. I need you all to roll a dexterity saving roll.
What's that? One?
Saving throw dexterity. The little box above the skills box. D20 and your modifier.
What are we rolling for? What is it?
Dexterity. Right, this box.
Saving throws.
Dexterity saving throw. So you get a modifier on top of your roll. You see it, Mark?
Oh, crap.
Mine's a 0, but well, the
I don't have any.
Right. So then roll. Just roll. Roll a.
fix 15.
Roll a 20. Mark at 15.
19 plus 5, so 24.
Okay. So Jeff and Mark are closer to Abram on the side of the road than you two are. Jeff, David, you guys are talking to each other, and you see David eyes get wide as he's looking at the sky. Abram notices and looks up, and his eyes get wide, and you see Jeff, you're gonna get out of the road. How do you do? What do you do?
This is something where I think I should use some stealth to get the fuck out of the road.
No, you're like trying to immediately get out of the way of something.
Okay.
And there's a ditch, or there's a long side of the road and another ditch.
I gracefully leap and roll
Okay,
towards the ditch.
Mark, what do? You get out of the way of something going on that you're not even aware of yet.
In the ditch.
You see David just jump in the ditch out of panic.
So I'm going to sort of do like a slide downward as and then lift my arms like in like a defensive position.
Okay. Which one of you? What did you roll? 4. What did you roll? 13. Okay. As Jeff dives and Abram
gracefully
kind of cringes and is like, and Mark is unaware of what's going on, but he just jumps because he saw David jump. You, with us 3, witness an arm, a green arm covered in ragtag leather and metal armor, hits Ari in the chest, and Ari kind of just stands there
Out of the fucking sky.
as it falls off his chest and into the ground. He then looks up, and as he looks up, a big shadow is in front of him. He can't even make it out. And a green object comes hurling forward. A green body, missing an arm, in a ragtag armor. And that hits Kujad for 2 points of damage, and he is bowled completely over.
Womp womp.
David, Abram, and now Deku see a massive bat with Rast on top, riding, coming straight at you, dive bombing you. And there's another bat behind him with Jackal on it. And Jackal has a spear. And that spear is launched towards you. And it lands right at the feet of Ari. And that's where we're going to end this session.
Damn.
Dramatic.
This is kind of fun.
Oh man, it's getting good. It's getting good. I like it. Like finally.
That was long-winded. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm turning it off.
Oh, good.
Good night.